Audio test, audio test, audio test. Audio test, audio test, audio test. Hello, I'm gonna start the coaching. Does it still, yeah, good. What's Hi, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. Doing good. Let's see. This is one session, not a training plan, right?
Yeah, just one session.
Cool, cool. So, miles. And what would you say you want to improve at?
Well, I wasn't really sure what was like wrong with my aim
All
because
right.
it felt kind of like I don't know, it felt like I wasn't like at a higher level than like a lot of players that I can go up against, but I
Okay.
didn't really know why.
So you said like I think you said in the Metafy comment like your aim felt like you were a diamond and you wanted to feel like Immortal 3 Radiant level. Like,
Yeah,
and what are you playing? Like, what would you say you're playing at right now? Are you diamond
I'm
right
Diamond
now?
2.
Diamond 2? Okay. Diamond 2. So the first thing I do is kind of like separate the idea of a Valorant rank and an aim skill level. Like, they're just like I've seen Radiants who get outscored by Silvers who, like it's just there's I haven't found much, like obviously the average will get a bit better, but there's really like no like aim skill level that like every Radiant has to be, or every, like, I mean, look at Daznarth, the man got rank 1 on like an Xbox controller. So like, I mean, definitely work on your aim, improve it, but I wouldn't really think like, oh, my aim is diamond 2 level right now. I just it the game is too complex to put like a Valorant rank on an aim skill level is what I'm trying to say. But let's see. Do you have a deathmatch recorded, some kind of VOD? And Valorant is the only game you want to improve at, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Do you have any like deathmatch VOD recorded or something?
I do. I could also do a live one if you want, but I have a pre-recorded one.
Um, Pre-recorded is probably better so I can skip around and actually look at it.
All right.
Let's see.
Yeah, let me just find it. Should be. This one?
Hmm. Wait. Actually, I just realized something. I'm just moving my streaming to YouTube, and I don't want this. I don't know if I can actually watch a YouTube video on a YouTube stream. So you want to just do a live deathmatch for
Yeah,
me?
sure.
All right, thanks. That just hit me. Doesn't make really a difference.
Yeah, I think I know I struggle with tracking,
Mhm. All right.
but like the training bot tracking is like very easy, but actually tracking players' heads is like a whole other level of
Yeah,
difficulty.
no, like the range bot thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that thing moves like predictably. It takes long pauses. There's not really much difficulty to that. Oh. Oh.
see it?
Yes.
So yeah, I can keep deathmatch.
Alright, cool, cool. So, what would you say your FPS experience is so far?
Like literally nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah.
Valorant's your first game?
This is my first FPS.
Mm-hmm.
I never really played anything before that.
Did you have, like, another genre of game you were into, or just start gaming with Valorant?
Um, I guess like Minecraft PvP, baby.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Technoblade.
Yeah, yeah, I'm so sad about that.
I cried when I heard that.
Yeah.
That time you destroyed everyone with the USB steering wheel. That was insane.
I also like to use Guardian.
Alright, let's do that. Nice.
Normally it's because like so I don't just spray down the enemies, so it's like very clear on what my weaknesses are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Guardian's a deathmatch gun for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Normally I use it at the start, just so
Okay.
I like just don't
Yeah.
have the spraying habit.
I feel like that's definitely true, but the issue with it also, a lot of people like take that too far and aim super slowly. Like, you're not doing this, I can tell, because you're missing like 80% of your shots, which is a good thing. But a lot of
Yeah.
people take the Guardian so slow that like they just aren't actually even aiming with it. They're just like slow, like it's not even their aim anymore. It's like a completely different aiming style, and it's just not really reflective of how they aim. So it's hard to VOD review, but for you it seems fine.
Yeah.
And there's people who spray too much, and you can't even watch them use a rifle because they're just spraying everyone. Like,
Yeah.
nice. What mouse are you using?
Pro.
Super light? Alright. Super light or normal?
Just normal.
Okay.
Oh my. Thought he would move. Kinda weird.
legitimate iron. I love the username.
Yeah, my friend made me name it that.
That's funny.
One kill remaining.
Alright. Alright, I wouldn't say your friend's too far off. So let's go to Kovacs and let's get looking at some things more specifically.
Alright.
Alright, just launch up the stream when you get into Kovacs. Alright, so let's see. What do you do on Kovacs right now when you play?
Sometimes I run through this playlist. Somebody gave that. I forget who gave this to me. I didn't make it though.
Alright.
It's yeah. I think it's kind of like click timing.
Okay. Alright, see what that is. Let's see what is my Valorant Ultimate? I don't even remember making that, so it's probably not the best playlist.
Oh, this. I
Oh
kind of changed it.
god.
It's a lot of this
Oh
and
yeah,
this.
I gotta admit that's not my favorite playlist.
It's so
Um,
long. I don't never like finish
it's
it,
a
but like
it's a lot of them are 1 rep sends, so it probably only takes like 20-30 minutes. So how long do you play in a day
a Valorant.
for Kovacs? Like how long do you want your training to last?
Um, I feel like I'm a little bit inconsistent with it. Sometimes I do like 15 minutes. Sometimes I'll do like maybe like an hour.
Okay. Let's see. How about this? I'll make
Like
you 15-minute playlists, and then when you want to keep going, you just keep going.
yeah, okay.
You just like
Just like
play
reset
the
it.
next days or play the playlist again or whatever. So let's see. Let's start out with online scenarios. Let's just do a basic 1 while 6 targets small. It's 5 suns down.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Should you challenge or free play?
Oh, let's challenge it. Let's just see what you get for a
Alright.
score. Won't matter too much. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hit done. Search up WPV 1 while 4 targets extra small. Oh, sorry. WPV 1 space 1W 4T ES. Search that. Play the top one. Challenge it. So what sense are you running? Just curious.
0.3800.
Okay. Okay. So that's not the issue. All right, hit cancel. You don't need to change anything. And is that what you use in game?
Yeah.
All right. All right, that's good. Just. All right, so you got what I like to call a skill issue. You just lack precision with your small motions. Here, let me just share my screen so I can kind of show you what I mean by that. Just, yeah. Let's see. Now this I notice a lot in Valorant, a lot in Kovacs. It's how long have you been playing Valorant for?
Um, maybe like 3 to 4 months.
And how long have you been aim training for?
Like 2, 1.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's pretty common in newer players. Um, let's see. PV1 all 4 TES. So this is what your aim looks like. Now let's just challenge it. Escape, save. So this is what you like aim like this. You like do like you flick to it, and then once you're close to, like, let's say you just flicked from all the way over here. Now you're close to it. You're just drawing a circle around the bot. Like you'll like go here, and then you'll go here, and then eventually you'll get it. Then you'll go here. You'll go here. You'll go here. And then eventually you'll get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to just be one, one, one. Maybe you don't even need a micro adjustment. One, 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 one. And like, yeah, you'll miss sometimes, and I'm missing mainly because I'm just lying down in my chair right now. But you get the point. Like you're very inefficient with this motion, very shaky with it, and it's just because you lack that level of control over your mouse. Now sometimes people might play on like a super high sense, like maybe 0.8800, like what's that, 15 centimeters, and that like makes it so that like their motions are exaggerated, so it's a lot harder to go like that, and like they end up slower, or in order to try and get speed they end up out of control, or they just don't have enough control that no matter what pace they go at they can't make it there, so they just shake around the target no matter what. But you play on 55 centimeters per 360, like this is a pretty easy sense to play Valorant on. There's really no, and static too, there's really nothing wrong with the settings that are making you struggle. It's just your skill. So what we're going to work on primarily with you is just fixing that and getting you so that you can make faster micro adjustments. So let's go to a scenario called raw mouse control clicking 3. Top one. All right, not bad, not bad. Um, let's see. Let's Google. Here, can you go to Google real quick?
Yeah.
Search up metronome.
Yeah.
And just set it to 40 beats per minute, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And then go back to Kovacs with the metronome playing.
Yeah.
And now just every time you hear the beep, click it and just wait on the targets between beeps. So like sit there. Alright, cool. This is just to get the pacing down, so just it should be super easy to do. Just get the concept of clicking to the beat down.
And how long should I do it for?
Oh, we're in free play. I didn't realize that. I was just waiting
Oh
for the
yeah.
challenge end. No worries. End it now.
Okay.
And then start it. Go to, let's see, you hit 1500 last time, so let's do 130 to now do the kind of
130.
challenge pace. This will be like a
Alright.
medium pace, like kind of hard, but you should still be able to do it relatively easily. And then start the challenge this time for it. I just want to see what your
Yeah.
accuracy is, yeah, and how. It just lets me see what your accuracy at this pace is and how close you are to being perfect. So
Alright.
at like some point in like your hand and your wrist and your arm, you were feeling like kind of that feeling where it's like the maximum precision and speed, especially on those three missed shots. I'm guessing. Like I kind of noticed that like you'd be to the left of it and you kind of had to like it was a struggle to get back on the target. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like you felt that feeling a bit. That feeling is what you kind of want to chase when you're working on this kind of micro adjustment training, right?
Okay.
So go to let's see, let's go to the metronome again and set it to let's set it to 160 this time.
Alright.
Cool. Now play it again.
Oh, whoops.
Even if you have to miss, that's fine. You're gonna have low accuracy on this one. Just make sure when it beeps, you click. That was 160 beats per minute.
Yep.
Alright, in that case, that was actually still very good. So let's go, because like you had 91%, which means you probably felt it a bit, but it wasn't like overwhelming or even that difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to 180 beats.
All right.
Nice, nice. Let's see, 177. So you're still 3 off, which is like pretty good in my opinion. Like sometimes people will have like 15 away from the metronome, and at that point are you even like doing the metronome? But when you're 3 off, that's fine. So let's see, try 200. Let's full send it.
All right.
Your accuracy was still, I think it was in the 80s, but I forget exactly what it was.
89.
89, yeah, you can definitely handle 200. Usually the rule for this, like when I give people this, usually the rule is like 60 to 80% accuracy usually feels best.
Okay.
So like, yep,
I shouldn't close the tab.
no worries. Usually from, yeah, you can play it again. Alright, so let's see. That was still, what was the accuracy on that? I missed it.
81.9.
81. Alright. So now the reason I said usually 60 to 80 and that range is so wide.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, you still had 199. That's almost perfect. That just means like the first shot or the last shot, like the metronome just didn't line up perfectly with a run. That's perfect number of clicks, so you're still on pace. But usually when people uh so when people struggle with micro adjustments, I just want to make this clear so you can understand it better. They have one of two issues, right? Either when they flick, after the flick, they're struggling to slow down their mouse and get in a position where they can actually make the small, precise motion, right? I feel like that one's actually more common with my coaching. Or they're like not precise, they just can't make the movements they need to make, and that one's honestly less common. Maybe even like a third of people who tend to struggle with micro adjustments have that issue, and you're in that like lower third or that other third of people who just need to work on that precise control.
Yeah.
So, which in my opinion, it's not that hard to fix. Honestly, you just got to keep doing things like this. So let's
Okay.
see. Let's just. So how did you feel? Did you feel like the lack of precise control in your fingers was starting to overwhelm you, or did you feel like you're still going? Like you're still doing
Um,
fine?
I don't know. I felt kind of fine doing 200. I know I missed a lot, but I still didn't feel
Yeah,
terrible.
you know that feeling where it's just like you're pushing it and it's just like struggling to make that motion, and this wasn't that.
It wasn't terrible.
All right, cool. Let's try. Let's try two. We could do Yeah, let's go 220. Yeah, let's try 220. See how that feels. That'll probably be pushing the limit.
Alright. Wait. The Google one only goes to 218. Let me just find a different one.
No worries. I think the one like below it will have 220.
Yeah. Alright.
Okay. Pretty much the same accuracy as the last one. Which, let's go faster.
How much?
Actually, you know what? Let's not go faster. Let's try something different. You're not
Alright.
having too much struggle with raw mouse control. Go back to Kovacs.
Yeah.
Hit done. Let's go to the 30% smaller version right below it. Let's try that. This one won't be too small if I remember correctly. Just play it so I can see how small just like hit challenge and then escape. Okay, yeah, that's a good size. Hit escape. Reset it and let's bring the metronome back down to 150.
Alright.
This will probably help us a bit more because you'll actually have the struggle from like the size of the target. Like that one, it was just becoming a raw speed thing as you were warming up. Did you warm up before the session or?
A little bit.
Okay.
Maybe like 10 minutes.
Yeah, so you're probably just getting a bit more warmed up, and that was just helping you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can go way higher. Let's just go straight to 180.
Alright. I'm just gonna turn down sound of my Chrome tab. This one's a little louder.
No worries. You're in the Konpeki server?
Yeah.
Nice.
How did you see?
Basically, your Chrome tab, when you open Chrome tab, for whatever reason, your screen share just shows Discord.
Oh. You know him?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm in a lot of random servers. I just kind of joined randomly.
Yes, you were in the Twix server. Very few people are in that server.
Oh yeah, I found him.
Yeah, it's a cool server. Let me think for a second what I want to say about it. Okay, 81%. So did you start to feel more like it was very hard to get on the targets?
This
Like,
one was harder. I think it's definitely precision my problem.
yeah, that's good. That's good that this is targeting that. So I think I want to work on this, and there's a few other scenarios I want to take a peek at you playing. So let's
Okay.
go to. You can shut off the metronome now. We won't need that. So let me just make a note real quick. So now, when you're doing this, when you're balancing the metronome, you really just want to, one, make sure you're not just like flick, click, flick, click, like mindlessly, because then it won't ever feel that challenging to be precise. You'll just be accepting an accuracy, right? You still got to
Yeah.
try to hit all the shots, even if you only hit like 80% of them. That's the first, because that's like the key to improving at it.
Hmm.
The second one is adjust the metronome. Sometimes people will be able to like as they warm up or like as the session goes on, they're able to keep increasing it. Sometimes people feel the opposite, like they're really good at 200 at the start and then they start to lose some focus and they got to slow it down a bit. Just whatever you need to like maintain that feeling that you're really struggling to get on the target and be precise. Adjust the without being overwhelmed and just having no idea what's going on. Just adjust the metronome accordingly. And yeah, I'll just put up like 15 of these on a playlist, and you can just play like, and with the metronome adjustments, if you only play through 13 before 15 minutes is up, and the boys are on Valorant, you got to get off. That's fine, but just
Yeah.
like just try and do that with the metronome on the days that you do that, and then let's see, search up. Let me think. What's a good one? Floating heads. Search up floating heads. 2400%. Cool, play that. Let's see how this looks for you. So in this scenario, the optimal strategy would be to flick to where the bot's gonna go when your crosshair gets there. Are you gonna done?
Yeah, there's you.
I played the scenario like once 4 months ago, so or not even 4 months. I don't know when that score is from. I could probably I'll beat it and send it to you. I'll beat it right after the stream ends, right after the session ends. Let's see. You can hit done.
All right.
The optimal strategy for that scenario would be to wait where the bot is going to
Yeah.
intersect your crosshair, and then just click it as it goes by, but or not really wait, but like flick to where it's gonna be like really the instant your crosshair gets there, and then click it. But for you, I kind of want to that would get you a good score and work on target reading. But for you, I kind of want to work more on that, almost like a more of a tracking type.
Okay.
So the way you were playing it is fine. I'm just telling you this in case you like see a guide or someone else gives you that tip of like doing that. Yes, that would be a better way to play the scenario and it would work on different skills, but this is like just treating the same thing differently so that like you can work on different, like an incline bench versus a normal bench press. Maybe you can bench press a lot more than an incline bench, but just a completely different thing. Or I know of a kid in high school who would lift his legs up when he was benching to work on his core, right?
Yeah.
His form was technically incorrect, but he knew that. He was like going to nationals for powerlifting and stuff. He was just doing it as an exercise. I don't know if that's the healthiest thing on your spine and whatnot, but it was just like doing a different form in order to work on a specific thing. So for you, that's like almost like a smoothness type tracking thing so that you can get better at hitting these. And then once you get good at that, you can start playing it the other way to get better at reading. But this is just first to just get you a bit of basic control that you just don't have. So playlist 2, I'm gonna 1x
Okay.
floating heads 2400%. Let's do like 5x this. And search up centering 1 for me. Sorry, centering and then the letter I. Let's play the second one. This will train a similar skill to what you're trying to train in floating heads. Try and be smooth and continuous. You're a bit jittery. Do you feel like you're too tense?
A little bit.
Alright, try and relax that a bit more. Some people find it helps when they tense one of their legs, and that like lets them relieve the tension. I don't know if it'll work for you. I feel like it works for half the people I give it to, but I've only told it to like 10 people. If it works for you, it doesn't work for me. It works for... I got it from a guy who says it like saved him so much. This guy called Unans. He's a skilled guy. He told me about that. I don't know if it'll help you. Do you feel like it's
I think
helping
it's
you?
helping a little.
Nice. And then just try and stay relaxed with the scenario. And the other thing you can do is change your keybind to put a keyboard shoot button and use that like a... change the keybind so that shoots on your keyboard and then play like that.
Okay.
For a run. You could try that right now if you want, just to kind of learn. And during that time, treat your mouse like it's an egg that you don't want to break. It'll be second to bottom, third to bottom now. Oh, no, it's no, second to bottom when you're
like
scrolled all the way up. So now move your cursor to the bottom, then go one up, fire,
fire.
and then alternate bind. Do an alternate bind.
Should I do like...
Just do F. F doesn't do anything in Kovacs by default. So then just play on F and just try and be very like relaxed. Treat your mouse like an egg. Nice, nice.
Pretty
Did you feel like the score doesn't matter too much? Did you feel like your tension was releasing?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's try that again, and this time shoot with your mouse.
Okay.
Definitely looking a lot smoother, a lot softer. That's good. Do you feel like you have a lot of tension in game that's holding you back?
Yes.
Alright, cool. That's a main thing you want to work on.
Like just like relaxing.
Just relaxing, yeah.
Okay.
Cool, cool. So, yeah, you're good. You can end this scenario. You've played it enough times, so let's think. That'll get you that. I think this is enough for you to work on because this will focus on your main biggest issues that are affecting you the most. So we'll do like some smoothness, like centering one.
So kind of just like smoothness, tracking, and precision.
Yes, I'll make you a third playlist. That's actually one more thing put. I'll make a
Should I
third
do
playlist that's
all
like
three of the
small
playlists?
static.
That
Yeah,
one.
I'll send over 3 playlists and you can just like alternate. They'll all be 15 minutes long. Like maybe play one day, one another day, all three on a day. You're feeling motivated, stuff like that.
Okay.
Like really, just I'll just send you the 3 playlists. Try and play them relatively evenly. Like don't like main one playlist unless you feel like it's really helping you. A lot more than the others. Which in that case, and then after like 2 or 3 weeks, you'll start to like feel your issues changing. You'll be better. You'll be more able to like aim effectively and all that stuff. And you might want to move on to other playlists and stuff.
Yeah.
Like if I had to guess what you would train next is your flicks are relatively slow. I don't want you working on it right now because you're not that precise and that's holding you back 100 times more in Valorant than like fast flicks because the fast flicks you only need when your crosshair placement fails. It's not really a flicking game, but like
Yeah.
scenarios like target switching scenarios like yeah, pressure aiming would help a decent bit.
I actually like the scenario. It's kind of fun.
Let's see. Yeah, I love that scenario. For this kind of scenario, what you'd want to prioritize is the biggest target, even if it means a long flick, because you just don't want to take damage. Like if you can get a cluster, but you gotta balance clusters and targets coming at you. It's a strategical scenario more than it is an aim. It's honestly for as far as flicking goes, and if you could even call this static clicking, since the targets are technically moving, you can't. But like, it's probably one of the hardest strategical scenarios
Yeah.
for flicking, at least not including dynamic, in my opinion, because so many people play it wrong. Versus like 1 wall 6 targets, where it's just like shoot the closest target, don't get caught up on target for strategy.
Yeah, and sometimes they like collide and like change direction. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that happens every now and then. That's just happens. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I am gonna give you a fourth. I'm gonna put some. Actually, no. I'm gonna put some. So I'm gonna put some target switching scenarios on your third playlist, right? And I'll
Yeah.
show you one of those afterwards because this will help you work on your tension issue.
Okay.
Because you probably notice that tension's even worse when you're clicking down than when you're not. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still happens. So basically, what the target switching scenarios will do is you'll always be clicking down while flicking between targets, just a full auto gun, almost like you're spray transferring, but you actually have accuracy, right? So if you want to hit done, search up online scenarios, WPV 5 sphere. Cool. Let's play the easy version. Challenge it, just hold down the whole time and flick between them.
Hold down and oh. Oh, I see.
You're
So
probably
it's kind of
feeling
like
some tension. Try and relax it. You don't have to be so relaxed that your mouse flies out of your hand. Just like relax to the point where you're not fatiguing yourself. If you could try to move faster, that'd be cool. Oh, hey, you're 1 point behind Valorant himself.
almost there.
And 9 places above Riot. No way. Above. That's crazy. You can hit done. Let's think. So yeah, just try and like release the tension, like play with the keyboard to give yourself an idea of what it should feel like when you're playing with your mouse, and then try and mimic that. Tense your leg if that helps you. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. Just stuff like that, and see what happens. What else? So the other thing I noticed about your VOD was that yeah, your flicks are kind of slow. So like pressure aiming, Pokeball wide wall 3 targets. If you want to search that up, that scenario like basically works the same as the other target switching ones, like the WPV 5 sphere I was showing you, where it wide wall has a space. Top one. The scenario basically you just work on flicking faster and faster between them without shaking too much when you get close to the target. That's the big part. Like you don't want
Oh
to
yeah.
shake a bunch when you get close to the target, like just because you're struggling to stop your mouse. Like it basically causes people to have the same issue as you were having. That's what I was telling you about earlier with like the issue. Causes people to have the exact same issue that you were having, except they're creating it themselves. If you know what I mean by that.
Mhm.
And I don't think you should be really focusing, especially where you're only training some days like 15 minutes. I don't think this should be at all a focus in your aim right now. But maybe a month from now, if you're feeling a lot more precise, you could start working in scenarios like this, scenarios like more reactive flicking scenarios. Like, did you see that video where I released that like a bunch of Valorant playlists?
No, I don't think I
Like the
did.
whole like ultimate. Here, I'll send you a link to that real quick.
Okay.
I'll actually just send you a link to the document behind it. WPV training regiment. So this document has a bunch of just generic playlists on it that you can use like a month or two from now when you start to feel like my playlists aren't challenging you anymore, unless you want to like come back for more coaching, which I don't know if you would. But the ones you might want to focus on are on the speed flicking hard, medium, and easy. And
Okay.
yeah, those ones are actually the ones that you'd want to focus on because they basically combine pressure aiming type scenarios, reactive scenarios, and target switching scenarios, and just make sure you focus on stopping and like not shaking around a bunch when you get close to the target.
Okay.
Cool. So, do you have any questions for me that you wanted to get answered? Specific things you wanted to work on, just stuff like that?
Um, is is me doing like tracking and like precision, would that make it easier to like track like moving targets in Valorant?
At
Kind of
your
like
level, I'd say probably.
okay.
Like at anyone's level, it'll help, but like at certain levels, it starts to become like just less and less useful. So like if you're doing like the precise tracking, like could you show me some of the scenarios you were referring to?
Oh, for like flicking or
For the tracking, like the precise tracking you meant? Like you just said tracking, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Well, for tracking, sometimes I do this one.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that one's not really tracking. This ascended tracking probably not. That's more of a fast scenario. I don't love that scenario. I don't. I think it's overhyped a lot. Um,
I do. I guess this one's more to click timing.
that's yeah. That's clicking. Yeah. I wouldn't. I'll make you a playlist that feels that's a lot of tracking. One of your two, three playlists will have a decent bit of tracking on it. I'd work on that for sure. Um, all right. The scenario, the point of it is to react and flick fast, right? And I would, I mean, maybe someone gave it to you without that intent, but honestly, I guess you could play it other ways if you wanted to, but honestly, I wouldn't even worry too much about this playlist if I, or that scenario if I was you, just because it's like, you got more important things to work on before you can, or before you should really start working on fast reactive flicking.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what else do we want to focus on before. Huh. Control sphere, smoothness trainer. Nice, nice. Um, let's see. So, did you have any questions? I forget. Did you have any other questions for me, like things you wanted answered, or was I in the middle
No,
of
not
explaining
really.
something? I feel like I lost my train of thought.
I think I'm good.
All right, cool. Oh, right, we were talking about precise track. Yeah, what I was just saying was, as you start to get like better, the precise tracking, like the skill, like only some of its skills transfer over, and those skills probably won't be bottlenecked. Like I found a lot of better people don't really get bottlenecked by the skills that the precise tracking will train. Like the skills it won't train are basically just knowing when to click and where to click exactly. And I feel like that bottlenecks a lot of players as they start to get better. So I feel like if those are your main issue, then the training, the tracking won't help too much for you.
Okay.
But at your current level where you're just clicking and you're never on target, it'll help you a decent bit. So yeah, if you all those are just like generic stuff for like when you're done working on what I'll make for you, and I'll make some because like it's hard to know what level you'll be at in 3 months, so it's hard to like make or like a month from now, so it's hard to make custom playlists based on that like secondary issue that you shouldn't really be focusing too much on now. But I'll make some like stuff for the primary like precise and like actually getting on target issues you're facing right now, and yeah.
Okay.
So if you got nothing left, I got nothing left for you. So
All right. Thank you.
no problem. All right. Bye. Let's see what. So yes, chat. I was eating a buffalo chicken sandwich. Let's download Krisp voice whatever so that we can not have these issues that you guys keep complaining about. Twitch chat was so much nicer. Twitch chat didn't care about the audio quality. They were just grateful for me streaming. You guys are all like, why is it so loud? All right. Let's see. What's the plan for the streams? Basically, the plan for the finished live streams is I'm gonna private it after it ends, and then eventually like because this stream what we're doing, oh yeah, in half an hour, so I'm calling up Salzi. He's rank 5 in the RA benchmarks, and we're gonna talk aim for maybe an hour, 2 hours, just like go through a list of topics we've kind of planned out about various aim and Valorant things, and that'll after that we will have like cool educational information, so stick around for that. And right now I'm just setting up audio to be perfect, so just help me set up perfect audio so that we can have a better stream with Salzi, because Salzi is a very good player, ranked 6 in RA benchmarks, used to be in the RA. Let's see, leaderboards. Um, if we find the top leaderboard, sign in with browser. Let's see. Set up later. Let's see. Used by OBS. Cancel noise and room echo. Alright, let's try this. Let's try tabbing out of Krisp and moving this thing to my second monitor. Turning up this. Turning this back down to 0. Close. Alright, can you guys hear me? A bunch of people were very mad about the audio quality. So tell me how I sound and like how it is. Stream delay takes forever. So just like let me know if it's like seems to be suppressing like the ASMR noises you guys were complaining about and stuff. All right, it sounds better. Cool, cool. I love how stream delay. Like that took a solid 20 seconds. I need to get the stream delay fixed. I mean, yeah, that's what I sound like in general. So perfect, perfect. uh, perfect, perfect. So let's see. Now let's go beat that score I promised that I'd beat. Point 0.4. Enter. Floating. This is like I just lifted, so I'm kind of sore, so this won't be easy. Floating heads, 2400%. I just want to beat the guy's score because he had 36, I think it was. So I just need to get more than 30 bots. Why does my chair feel like terrible right now? And then we'll bring on Salzi, who could probably get like 80 bots on the scenario. I'm whiffing. Alright, this is fun. Let's see. Sounds way clearer. I'm gonna let's see. We're probably gonna have to upgrade our Krisp so it lasts more than an hour. So let's launch up Krisp real quick. Krisp. I'm gonna upgrade to Pro on my second monitor. Oh no, it's forcing me to upgrade on my upgrade to Pro. Okay, it takes the upgrade to Pro to the second monitor. Cool. Where is my wallet? Uh, let's go monthly for now. All right, chat. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Let's see, launch up. Not gilded. Nobody cares about gilded. Starting soon. All right, let me know if you can hear me. We now have unlimited access to Krisp. We now have unlimited access to Krisp noise filtration. So basically, I get Discord noise filtration, but on my streams, which will save a big hassle, which in my opinion is pretty cool. Loud and clear, yes sir, perfect. I hate how my stream delay. Coaching is over. Um, Gotta change this. About to interview the Salzi FPS. Save. Paid for Krisp, yes sir. Massive W. So basically, because I have to do things like pay for Krisp, the stream VODs will become a channel membership thing, and I will release channel memberships, which will allow me to justify paying for more edited videos. Yes, the Salsi FPS is coming on stream soon. Yes, everyone's a massive fan. He's literally the greatest human being alive. Let's see. Yo, no way. Sev private coaching server. Only people in Sev's Twitter circle can see it though. YouTube membership. Yes, YouTube membership will pay for Krisp and for other things. Make sure to become a YouTube channel member when you. And it'll pay for editing. I'll get the live streams edited, and it will pay for just me to exist because money is cool. Let's see. We're just waiting for salt. So, does anyone have any questions? Like, I wasn't really reading much while I was streaming. Yes, sir. The Salzi is going to be interviewed soon. Shortly, we will have the Salzi FPS on stream with me, ready to get interviewed and learn things from the Salzi FPS. Let's see. Anyone have any questions for me while we wait? I wasn't really reading them while I was coaching that guy, so if anyone has any questions for me, we can talk those while we wait. Just some aim talk while we wait for Salzi to get online. Tips on how to get a girl. All right, you got to be confident. You got to look like me, or at least as close to me as you can. I got to do a face reveal so you guys know what Riz looks like. Yeah. So that would be. So ideally, if you want to get a girl, you have to look like me. You got to be confident. You got to go up to her and you got to be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And then you got to inform her that you have Riz. Say, They call me the Rizzler," and then she'll immediately know that you have Riz, which will make her more likely to want to be with you. And then once she knows you're the Rizzler, just take it from there. What ping in Valorant, for example, is the best? Like 60 milliseconds, 70 milliseconds, something like that. I'd say probably the lowest ping when you're being peaked, and whatever high ping doesn't cause you to glitch around when you're peaking. Didn't you go to an all boys Catholic? I was not aware that was public information, but oh yeah, there was that one Twitch stream, yeah, where I accidentally face revealed. Yes, but I not anymore. I'm in college now. Is it okay to have bat? I mean, yes, yes, it is okay to have bad aim Sundays. Yo, Rebound Master certified, Tyler Gorel. I'm live on YouTube. Gorel, chat wants to know how to get girls. Tell them how to get girls. Girl in high school we called Tyler. We got to do the face reveal eventually, not right now though. Oh, I mentioned it in a call. I thought I mentioned it on stream. Yo, Salzi FPS was good. Salzi is in the chat and he's about to be in the call. Okay, okay, that makes more sense. I did not think I'd say that on. Well, now I said it on stream and it's public information. Okay, this seems like Twitch. Yeah, it's just Twitch, but on YouTube. So it's literally just Twitch, except I have 40 times the following. Salzi, you are the Rizzler. Chat wants to know how to. There was a guy who asked how to get girls. How you got to teach them, Salzi. You play Minecraft? That's true. Goral knows. Goral's the Rizzler. You need voltaic bronze complete to get. That is true. You gotta. That is true. Snacks will die without ever getting any girls. In a game, he will die in a video game because he can't aim. I think that's enough to get like. No, it's not. An actual question, thank God. Do you think a rhythm game like Osu can be helpful for learning specific parts of aim? Um, yeah, yeah, I think it would help. I don't know exactly. Like, it would just like that guy we were working with. He just didn't have a base. Like that guy I was coaching half an hour ago. No, you don't need a face cam. I don't even have a face cam. I was just joking around about doing a face reveal, but no, I'm just gonna like for the actual thing, it'll be more like a podcast. So I'll just like sit in Discord or whatever. And we'll just talk, and then afterwards, or I might even pull up my note sheet. And afterwards, if I make a VOD of this, I might just steal clips from you and put them in the VOD. Hand cam we shouldn't need. How do you stop being stuck in one place after the flick? Like you're saying, like you flick, you stop, and then you're off target. That's either an issue with precise control, like you're just not able to make the micro adjustment because you're not precise enough, or an issue with it's probably an issue with precise control if you're able to stop, but you might want to work on decelerating and then into an adjustment rather than just stopping and then starting up an adjustment again. Question: I have an issue when my wrist shakes, even if I'm not gripping my mouse pad. Any solutions? Mm, work on train it. It's either a training issue or a physical, like you need to see a physical therapist type issue. How do you wash your mouse pad? I don't know. I've always struggled with that. Is it possible for someone who started playing Val and aim training 2 years ago to get aim like tens within a? If you grind, yes. If you play like 4 6 hours a day of just aim training, probably. But then there becomes the question: maybe even 2 hours a day aim training. It's possible. You got to be consistent with it. You got to grind. You got to stay dialed in, and whether or not uh you can do it, it'll just take a lot of work, and that level of aim work might not be the fastest for Valorant improvement. You might become like very lopsided, a lot of aim, not a lot of game sense. I skipped Goral's question. Anyone want to join the? I joined that realm for like 20 minutes and then I quit because it got boring. Um, Also, do you know what you are bad at? What I'm bad at? Huh. I think I need to work on I think my main focus for the past. I think my main focus right now should be working on micro adjustments and dynamic clicking and smoothing those out. My secondary focus should be increasing my pace and static. And then my third should be target reading and tracking and randomized dynamic. Oh, how do you know? You just kind of look at like what like you're playing in game. Like that guy, he was playing the game. He would be he'd get close to the people. He wouldn't be able to move on to their heads. Right? He couldn't make the precise movements. Is concentration difference between 700 hours and 2,000 hours to get concentration, previous experience, other aim trainers, just a lot of factors go into it. It's really hard to say exactly why someone is and isn't better. Fortnite. It's hard to say. Yeah, the stream delay is making it really hard to interact with chat. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta learn how to fix that. I don't know how to fix it. Could a mouse pad with a lot of stopping power be a problem? Because I got an artisan. That might. Yeah, you could experiment with other mouse pads if you have money. Which mouse pad? I really don't know. I really don't know. Um, I usually go my monitor. So when I sit up straight on my at-home setup, it's probably like I'm sharing my screen right now. So the black line above the little box where it shows me the stream, like right around here is eye level for me. Um, what's my opinion on the SkyPad? I'll get into that in an upcoming video, probably this week or next week. I will make a whole video on my opinion on the SkyPad. Um, we should do Minecraft aim training video. You know, Salzi, the guy we're about to interview, actually invented Minecraft aim training. What are types of aiming styles? What are the types of aim styles? What are the types of aim styles? I like that question. It's too, it's comes with too many mistakes, too many people declaring a mistake as an aim style and not a actual, like, it's very difficult. In 10 minutes, I'm gonna, so come watch. I'm serious. Join right now. Yes. That's a hard question to answer. Where is the Salzi? I'm going to call Salzi in 5 minutes. Here, Salzi, I'll call you. We can just do a little. I'll call you right now. We can just like talk casually, but we won't start the actual like information or like introduction section. Or no, I'll save it for the start of the podcast. I'll save it for the start of the podcast. I feel like the top tier aim styles are either being smooth or being MBM. I feel like it's hard to say exactly what's an aim style and what's a mistake, and that's where I don't like that question. Then it's like, is it an aim style or is it a strategy for a specific scenario? And then just it, I feel like, and then people will say there's like different aim styles within one scenario or one game. It just gets too complicated. We'll call Salzi in 4 minutes because I want people who want to be here for the stream to be here when they get here. Like it won't make sense to like talk for a second and then do an introduction. Why do I have insane flicks but suck at tracking? How would you suggest I work on it? Sometimes I feel like I get stuck on a flick and can't switch to smooth tracking and keep flicking. I don't know. Different training. You probably just one. You might be a bit tense. That can happen. You might just need to work on training your tracking. Like if you've only flicked, then you won't know how to track. That's just how it goes. And yeah, yeah, it happens. I wouldn't worry. Different people have different strengths just based on their own experiences. That's probably all it chalks up to. Stream health. Stream is healthy. Viewer activity. No super chats or members yet? No way. Stream settings. Oh, we don't want to reveal that, do we? I don't think I want to reveal that. Uh the Salzi FPS aim extraordinaire. I do not use stopping power, or I do not use raw Excel anymore. To train. Hold on. Is the Krisp still working? Tell me if the Krisp shut off, because I just closed their widget. Hello. 258. Salzi FPS, aim extraordinaire. Let's view his profile, see if he's got a high quality. As you can see, he's got the high quality banner. This banner was made. Did Kev make this banner? Most people in aim trainers aim too slowly because the focus is more on accuracy. All right, cool, cool. So we're about to call Salzi. Salzi is the greatest aimer. Mutual friends. We have mutual friends. We have mutual friend Matthew. Yeah, Kev made this banner. Kev, most elite aimer. Um, let's see. We got mutual friend Sev. Sev will probably be my next interview. Unans taught me the leg trick. Europe. Rob is Rob. A lot of cool people. Mutual friends. Mutual servers. A lot of cool servers. West Prouder server. Make sure you're in West Prouder server. Skypad static extraordinaire. Yes, sir. Um, just practice on all the senses and any sense. It doesn't matter too much if it's your Warzone sense, if it's close to it, whatever. Just practice on senses. And it's 3. We can start the interview. It didn't even rank. Nice. Oh, I don't have you added as a friend.
What?
How did that happen? Oh, do you think I accidentally unadded you when I went through your profile? I did not
I
know.
do not think so. I think you just don't like me, to be
I,
honest.
I, you're the first interview. Why wouldn't I like you?
I don't know. You
I,
don't, we're not friends.
That's fair. That's mean, but it's fair. We play Minecraft together.
That is true. We did play Minecraft together.
Yeah, we invented we invented, or you invented Minecraft aim training while in a Minecraft Discord call with me.
Yeah, I
That's
remember
true.
that. That was crazy.
Yes, that was a good
The
game.
trapdoor thing. That was crazy.
Remember that was a fun server. But let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. You want to introduce yourself, like basically just tell people why you're cool and good
Uh,
at aim.
so basically, I'm cool because I can track really smoothly and like really precise. So yeah, that is incredible. And because I used to be in RA and RA Red, crazy, I know. Um, um, yeah, like aiming wise, I guess it's like I guess what I'm most known for is most definitely like smooth tracking, like in general, like
Hmm.
precise tracking things and like RA benchmarks and stuff.
Yeah, and on the RA benchmarks, you want to tell a bit about your scores, like where you're ranked in those.
So currently I'm rank 6 because Luckin decided to get good at everything. Great. I'm rank 6 with I don't know like 4.2k points or something. I think I'm rank 1 in smooth track and jump track at the moment. And in
Rank one
general, I
in
think
smooth
precise
track
tracking.
and jump track and precise tracking. Nice, nice.
Um, and yeah, like also solid scores in like dynamic clicking and evasive target switching. I think my
Nice,
scores are
nice.
fine. And
And
everything else, we don't have to talk about that.
all right, nice. That's fine. That's fine. Still averages out to top six, so that's can't be too bad.
It's good
Let's
enough,
see.
I guess.
Let's see. Um, so now one thing I've noticed, most of your like Twitter clips and whenever I see you playing games, you're usually playing Valorant, which so like
Oh
talk
yeah.
about like what FPSs you played before aim training, like
Um,
after as you got into all that stuff.
so I didn't like my first FPS was actually um like Valorant. Like that was my first FPS.
Okay.
I
And when
played
did you
before
start it?
like oh that was like two like when it came out. I think that was
Hmm.
2020. I
Okay.
think yeah. I started it there. I played like for the first act like at Diamond, and
Hmm.
then I stopped actually. I
Okay.
didn't play that much more. I went back to CS
Okay.
because I don't know, like my friends didn't play Valorant that much, and like everyone else just played CS for some reason, and so I just
Yeah.
like since I didn't want to play alone, I just went to CS.
Yeah.
Played like for like half a year CS, then came back to Valorant, was plat,
Yeah.
but I didn't play that much ranked. Uh, Over the year, I hit Immortal at some point, and then I found aim training and completely stopped playing Valorant for like 5 or 6 months.
But you hit Immortal before you started aim training.
Yeah, basically, but
Okay.
like it was like not high Immortal. It was like barely Immortal one.
Okay.
Um, exactly.
And how were your like aim trainer scores when you started?
When I started, like my like if I remember correctly, like I started 1 year ago in I think October, November, something like that.
Hmm.
And my first, like in the first week, I hit actually Grandmaster in VT, like aim lab
Okay.
benchmarks.
Nice, nice.
Um, so that was like my first like benchmark, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, After that, since like I didn't really want to push for Nova because that was like way, way, way too much for me.
Yeah.
I just like I didn't play that much after that. I played like the events aim lab had, like the what was it, the Arcane event and the Halloween event. I got like rank 1 in both of them as well, for
Yeah.
some time at least. And then at some point I found the Ravos like benchmarks.
Okay,
And
cool.
that's where like everything kind of picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many hours have you accumulated in various aim trainers, would you say?
Like in everything together, about 1.6k, I think.
Okay,
1.6k hours.
1.6K ish aim trainer hours. And how much of that do you think is AFK?
I'd say I have like probably 1.2k, 1.3k actually, like 1.2k in actual hours, I think. Pretty
Actual
sure.
hours. Okay, cool. That's good. So, hmm, what would you say like inspired you to get into aim training? Like, what was your actual incentive? Like,
So I don't know. Like I always had like decent like fine aim, but like I felt like aiming is the most like most fun part of most games.
Hmm.
Like in every game, I felt like aiming was the big difference. Like this is obvious, like the mindset you have when you're like not like extremely high elo. You feel like aiming is the most important part,
Yeah.
and that's what I thought as well.
Yeah.
And I just full grinded. Like even when I played CS, I didn't really play that much like matchmaking or face it. I just played deathmatch servers the entire time. So I
Uh-huh.
always focused on aim because it was fun for me.
Hmm.
Having good aim, like outplaying, like skill wise, being better than the enemy was just I don't know, was just better.
Hmm.
And inspiration wise, like people who inspired me, actually Siba inspired me a lot. He
Huh?
was like also one of the first people I talked to in like Revsect,
Uh-huh.
and he inspired me a lot to keep grinding.
Who was it, did you say?
Hmm?
Who did you say it was who inspired you?
Siba,
See, oh,
Project Siba.
Siba. Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And let's see. So how'd you get from like grinding TAC FPS games to precise tracking scores? Like, did that just happen? Like, that doesn't usually happen to people.
I know I have no idea. I don't know. I was just I didn't play that much tracking. I think I have like 100 hours in Apex at the time, so I
Hmm.
didn't really play tracking things. Um, but it I don't know. I just liked it. I don't know if it maybe like was the smooth track bot that made me play a lot more because like I don't know. I just like when I started, I hit like a really good score on that. I think I had like Arcane within the first day in that,
Hmm.
so that like pushed me a lot more.
Hmm.
But I can't tell you why like precise tracking is actually a thing. Maybe because of the smoothness. I could imagine that it's because of smoothness. Like just in general, like I've like because you can use smoothness also in Valorant and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not as apparent, but you can have that. And I
Okay.
guess that's just something I have.
Okay. Let's see. You want to like elaborate on how you use that smoothness in Valorant?
Mainly in terms of like, for example, cross-up placement.
Hmm.
I'm like always like it's like you can imagine it's like somewhat tracking, I guess, but like I wouldn't call it tracking. But you have to like always be on a constant level the entire
Yeah.
time, and smoothness helps there.
And
Because if you're
like,
like too flicky and then you're like if you're shaking a bit, then you may be off the entire time.
yeah, like you're trying to like
So
keep
I
your
was
crosshair a certain
yeah,
distance from an angle while you move, or
exactly.
sometimes you pre-aim angles, but like, yeah, that makes sense. So
So
let's think. Now you obviously had very fast progress, like, or
mhm,
maybe not fast since you do have 1.2K active hours, so that's like a lot of
mhm.
work. But like for someone who started FPS games in 2020, like 3 years ago, you definitely have made it very far. So what would you say? What would you say set you ahead of the competition?
um probably like I have like a really good grind set in terms of like how much time you put in for one score. I think I'm like pretty much top tier. I mean,
Hmm.
there has been incidents you could call it like that, where I literally played, for example, jump track, jump click for like 8 hours a day
Yeah,
just to get that one score.
that's definitely
And I
something impressive. I've heard like
yeah,
I remember when I was starting out, there was this guy who would always like change his IGN, so I don't really even know what to call him, but he and I would talk a lot in Reddit DMs actually, and he was a top static player. He would do the same thing. He'd grind like 8 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 8 hours a day, and that got him pretty good at static. Like that kind of grind set really helps you accelerate. So let's see, that's
yeah.
impressive. Do you feel like you made any big mistakes in your training that you wouldn't want to repeat?
Um, like ironically, it was overdoing things
Uh huh.
because if you care too much about one score, you'll always have like the issue with that is that you not only you kind of like destroy your wrist with that,
Yeah.
especially with jump click because I used to and well we get to that as well. I played on 68 centimeters, which was not good for my
Yeah, I
health.
can just imagine that. Like
So
jump
that
click.
was really bad.
Yeah, jump click
And
for like anyone who's wondering is like a scenario where you're constantly doing like 360s. Like it's just
yeah,
it's like a popcorn type scenario.
yeah, it's popcorn basically.
Yeah, it's popcorn.
And like that was bad. Like to not overdo things and not to care too much about the scope. Because if you put too much effort into that, you have this constant fear that people snipe it.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
true.
fucking hated that. Because then at some point Maddie came around and he just completely obliterated my score.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was kind of unfortunate. So yeah, like basically that I would not Omega grind something if I didn't know that first of all my wrist would like my physical health would be fine afterwards,
Yeah.
and that I like don't do too much when I know that someone else will just immediately snipe the score.
Yeah. Like Maddie, I remember that time that Maddie went on Twitter after having sniped every major score there was. Like that
Yeah,
day he declared himself like the aim training quadruple grand slam or something. That was
I
insane. And
remember that. That was
everyone's
crazy.
score got sniped that day. That was a really crazy day. So let's see. Now when you talk about physical health, would you say that like using such a low sense, like first of all, like you used a lot of low senses early on in your aim training, and like right, like
Yeah,
you were like
I
a
f- yeah.
yeah, like you were
I,
usually on like 70 centimeters ish early on.
I think early on, I think I was a bit higher actually.
Okay.
A bit. I think at the beginning, like when I like really started in the beginning, I was like at like maybe like 55, 60, something
Okay.
like that. And then it got progressively slower. And I
Mm-hmm.
think 67, 60, 68 was like, um, I think one of the lowest I went.
Mm-hmm.
I think for some scenarios, I went a bit lower, but I think the absolute lowest I went was like 72. I think that was the absolute lowest.
Absolute lowest was 72. Okay. And do you feel like that affected like your wrist health, and like is that why you got off a low sense and now you're like, I think I saw a tweet, you never go below 45 centimeters nowadays?
I do go below that because of like the hien, and I need to get like used to
Okay.
that still. So I still go though. I think at the moment I play like 51, I think 51, 54, something like that. So I still go lower than that, but I think it didn't really affect my wrist too much. It
Uh-huh.
was actually like that people kept calling me like low sense I'm using that shit. I I don't know. It was annoying. It was really annoying. I
Yeah.
didn't care too much about it though, but it was just annoying. So I just said like, yeah, I can also play other sensitivities, by the way. Um, so yeah, that was mainly like that was actually probably the biggest reason
Yeah,
why
that's
I
fair.
switched.
Peer pressure always is a good way to get people to stop doing things.
Yeah.
So let's see. So, how do you feel like aim training really affected your performance in game, like in aim trainers and all that stuff?
In game, if we talk about like specifically Valorant now,
Yeah. Like, how do you
um,
feel like that like affected you? Like you left Valorant for a bit and then you came back to Valorant.
I had definitely a lot more confidence. Like that was actually, I think that might be the biggest thing. I just like I don't know, I peaked angles with a like completely I didn't go into a fight and was like scared I might lose it. I went
Huh?
into a like fight and was like, yeah, I'm gonna completely shit on him now. I'm gonna one
Mm-hmm.
tap him. And I feel like that helps a lot. I think that helps a lot in Valorant because like
Uh-huh.
having the confidence to peak things and winning the fight is something that is like really important. Otherwise, we'll just if you like peak something and you're a bit scared of peaking the enemy and you have like too much respect for the enemy, you will most likely not win the fight.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Now, you had what rank did you hit in Valorant now? Like what's your peak?
I think Immortal 3 300 are
Okay.
peak.
And do you feel like having now I know Rob and Axis, two Radiants we know, were helping coach you when you started getting back into it, I think, right?
Yeah, something like around that time. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like that helped you even more, like the aim training, or just you know what I mean? Like since you got back into Valorant after aim
hmm
training for a while and now with two like Radiant coaches all at once, like how do you feel like that really affected you? Like what do you think was the big difference in getting from Immortal 1 to Immortal 3 after a 5 month break?
Um, I feel like it was a lot. It was like the trust they had. Like it
Huh?
wasn't like that much the coaching itself. Actually, it was like that actually like believed that I could be like, well, I can be really high elo. I feel
Yeah.
like that helped a lot because like confidence is also like is still like an issue for me,
Yeah.
but not in a like aiming sense, but like that I can actually like get to the highest level. So
Yeah.
they helped me a lot in that. And in terms of aiming, I mean, obviously not only the confidence part was like something that helped me through aim training
Yeah.
and through them, it was also like just the like pure aiming that helped a lot. Like I can um I'm just like really I can be like really consistent. When I like really focus up and think about what I'm doing, I can be really, really consistent with my aim in Valorant as well.
Want to
Um
like build on how you focus, what your mental approach is, how you like think about aiming when you do it.
oh, in Valorant, I don't really think about aiming. I feel
That's
like if
good.
you do that, then that is like you're gonna miss a lot of shots. If you over focus on aiming while playing something, then you're gonna get into your own head, and then you will just like start missing a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
agree.
shots.
I definitely agree with that. Like the kind of like trying to achieve a flow state, that kind of mindset. That's definitely a big
Yeah.
part of what I talk about. I'm not sure if you've seen any of my videos on it, but I definitely agree with you on that. And do you have any like tips for getting into that mindset? Like you've obviously done it pretty successfully. Like a lot of people struggle with just they think too much when they're trying to aim. Did
hmm
you ever have to like overcome that, or did it just happen that you were able to not think while aiming, or
I feel like it's somewhat it's like for me personally, like music is actually a big part for me.
uh-huh,
Like I need to listen to something. I need to hear
uh-huh,
something, otherwise I'm like going crazy actually.
uh-huh,
It's that and like somewhat like letting your thoughts go. Like not really like trying to completely focus on the game, full focus on the game, that doesn't really work. You will overthink a lot of things and then it doesn't really work. You want to, for me personally, I will try to like just think about whatever's coming through my mind, and
uh-huh.
then I just like I let it go. Like I just don't think about it too much and I just go to the next thought. Because if I don't do that, I feel like I don't know, I'm just stuck with a
Yeah,
thought and then it doesn't really work anymore.
yeah,
So I'm like, mostly when I play, I don't think too much.
uh-huh. But I noticed I was watching your stream and you were going very in depth on analyzing like the actual game sense aspect of the round, like what decisions you made and like how your decision
hmm
making like got how you could have like outplayed them. I remember. So like how do you kind of balance the not thinking about aiming with actual having to play attack FPS? That's something a lot of people struggle with, and I never play
Um,
multiplayer games, so I can't really help them too much on that one.
I feel like I do that mostly after rounds or after I die.
Uh-huh.
So I basically um think about why I died this time and what I could have done better.
Hmm.
Not really to, I mean, that is also a part, like that's something I have to work on myself, that
Uh-huh.
I don't bring myself too down for that, because
Uh-huh.
mistakes will happen no matter what you do.
Yeah.
But like, it is mainly the focus on recognizing what the fault was
Uh-huh.
and trying to remember what I could do better in the future to not
Uh-huh.
die in that like similar situation. So I
And
just think about that, yeah.
like when the situation's happening, like what's going through your like I'll bring up a specific round, like you were it's called that part on Ascent, like above Ace, Heaven on Ascent, like you put down the smoke and then you
hmm
push through this. Were you like trying to think of where the people were, or were you just like did it feel like you were
Uh,
more going through the motions, or was there something on your mind, like or just in
I
general
mean,
in those kinds of clutch situations? Like
in those clutch situations, it's I'm a very aggressive player because well, I have the confidence for that.
yeah,
So I do like to like surprise my enemy and not really like play it like too much focus on game sense, because I feel
yeah,
like I'm not too good at that. That's not my strength
yeah,
actually. So I'd rather like surprise them and like just out aim
yeah,
them in the end. So I would probably think of like the main spots an enemy could be where the enemies are normally at. If
yeah.
I go through heaven on ascent, probably like maybe main generator or on
Okay,
default. So those are the three places where I would look.
okay,
And this is like something I have like a mental image of in my head
yeah,
already. And then I clear that. And this is like where like I would just push that out. I would not care. I would try it like that.
okay,
Um, and if I get one, I would just immediately like dismiss, like where I'm like untargetable,
yeah,
and or like wait. Actually, I would probably rather wait to see where the next enemy is, where he's shooting it, and then I would dismiss,
Hmm.
so that I can I have the information where he is, and
Yeah.
then I can re-peek it basically.
Okay, that makes sense.
Um, so
So,
that would probably be my thought process.
all right. So just trying to like understand this, you do have like a conscious like verbal thought process on
Yeah.
how you're going to approach the retake or whatever things you're going to do, but when you're actually aiming, it's just your hand just moves and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Would you say that's how
Yeah.
you describe your?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, that's just what I'm trying to get a grasp on. That makes sense. So, you started coaching recently, I noticed, right?
Yeah.
How many students have you taken on so far?
Not that many, because like
No.
it's been like with like I had school stuff, like exams and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and
it's
then
fine.
Christmas as well. So it hasn't been that much, but I'm still doing a bit. I'm still trying to find out how it's like the best way for me to coach.
Uh-huh. Do you feel like
Like
you've
what
learned anything from that? Like
I
cool
have,
inf-
yeah, no, I have. I like it was always like really hard for me to imagine like the struggles, because like I was obviously somewhat like I was lucky that I just had smoothness. Like
Yeah.
obviously that's something I just had.
Yeah.
Um, and it was always like really hard for me to understand what the issue is. And I feel like now I really do understand what the issue is, and
Uh-huh.
I feel like that helps me a lot in 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 just a lot of things. Like I can
Yeah.
imagine, I can think of what do I have to tell someone to get better at smoothness,
Yeah.
and then what are like the main issues, what are like the common issues basically.
You want to go over some of those common issues you've started to notice in your coaching?
Um,
Like you can share your screen
Mainly
if you
it
want to
has
show
been,
something for examples.
examples.
Like if you
Let
want
me
to show
think.
any like just common issues you've noticed, if you want to like share your screen and
Also,
show
yeah,
us
yeah.
what you're
Oh,
talking about,
wait.
like you can share an aim lab and show me what you're like aiming at.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. Let me open AimLab. I knew that you were gonna ask it. I should have warmed up. God damn it.
It's no worries. We got a looking at chat. We got a shout out to you for being mid from
Yeah,
Cartoon
I saw it already.
FPS.
I love you too, Cartoon. I like you as well. You're pretty fucking horrible at precise tracking. Sorry,
Nice, nice. No worries, no worries.
I had to say that real quick. That was important
Well,
to me.
it's fine. I'll just. I don't think I even.
Um,
Yeah, I didn't even turn on monetization for the stream, so it doesn't matter.
let's go.
I did. I
We
forgot
can
to.
we
I
can.
forget to turn them on YouTube streams, but it doesn't matter. People get to see the whole interview this way.
Alright.
But let's.
AimLab.
I think it doesn't. But we should. But just let's not get too intense. Let's see. Is that? Yeah, that's actually cartoon. Real cartoon.
Yeah, no, it is actually Cartoon. Yeah, I don't think that someone
Yeah.
would like fake that.
Especially since
Discord.
the real cartoon DM'd me like 20 minutes ago, so I don't see. So it
Probably
makes
also
sense
say
that
that I'm pretty mid.
he's
And
online.
why do you even talk to him? Probably. I'm just gonna guess that.
Yeah. No, I DM'd him something this morning. It's probably a response to that, but I don't know.
Great. AimLab is immediately. Oh no, it's working.
Let's
Maybe.
see.
Let's see. Oh, it does. I probably.
All right, smooth track. So we're just looking at some of the common issues you say you've found in your
I mean,
coaching.
let me think. Actually,
You
I
can
think it's not even the best thing to represent that. Like
nice needle
mostly
check.
for me, what I've seen was actually that um like shake like the fact that people use the wrist too much, and
Yeah.
then they don't relax really the wrist. Like they don't really
Okay.
relax wrist and stuff like that. They just are like tensed from beginning, and
Okay.
then it's like really hard to stay on the target, in my opinion.
Okay.
So that was like one of the things I've noticed that people do a lot, like do just do wrong. Like it's, I don't know, if
Yeah.
I don't know, like that they, for example, if I only use wrist now here, you can see that at some point I will just break and it doesn't
Yeah.
really work anymore.
You're like
So this
shaking
is
because
something,
you're hitting the edge of
yeah,
your wrist, and then you just have to give
exactly.
out. Yeah.
So that is one of the things I noticed that a lot of people do wrong, or like just have like a mistake with, like that they think that wrist, since like that depends on sensitivity though, um, is mainly because like they just used to play like that, and in
Yeah.
most games it's possible to lift that,
Yeah.
but and
Like
like
in
the only like, yeah, Valorant for example, yeah,
Yeah, Valorant,
that
like your
works
crosshair
really well.
placement thing. Yeah, I've seen a
Yeah,
lot of people who like even use their arm, but they reset like every 10 centimeters.
yeah, exactly. So this is like what like the biggest issues. And if you like tensed, I can also show this here. Like you can tell that if I tense too much, I
Hmm.
I'm like swinging back and forth. Like it doesn't
Yeah,
really work anymore.
it's
But
shaky.
if I like, yeah, a lot of shake. But if I like completely relax
Yeah,
and use my arm, I can be somewhat. I have not warmed up,
yeah,
but you can tell what I mean.
yeah.
I can be like way smoother. I can be way more centered and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, that is basically what, in my opinion, was like the biggest issue. Was what I've seen
Uh-huh.
so far, at least.
Let's see.
Um,
Have you seen any other issues?
um, I feel like sensitivity is sometimes a topic. Where they're like not sure what sensitivity is like the best for them.
Huh?
I feel like
Have you even tried? Like, I feel like when I get those kind of questions, I usually like, I don't know. I kind of like if the person is playing a game like Valorant and they're between like 30 and 60 centimeters, I almost always just tell them whatever you're on is fine. If you want to change it, change it. But like if you can't tell the difference between two sensitivities, then it doesn't really matter. Like what would
mhm.
you say? Like that's my approach at least. Like what
I
would you
feel
say
like
yours is?
in general I agree with 30 to 60 centimeters. I would even go like a bit higher, like lower, 65, 70 would
Yeah,
also
even
still be fine
65.
for
I
me.
won't correct people. Yeah.
Um, I feel like I would never really tell someone to switch sensitivities because of that, because in the end it could be because of other reasons. It could be because of their mouse pad not being big enough, so they have to play high sense.
Yeah.
So I don't like telling people to switch sensitivities because it's in the end it's a preference, so
Yeah.
they can do whatever they want. Um,
Sometimes for Valorant
sometimes it
players,
has to happen though.
yeah, like sometimes you can tell like someone's on 120
Yeah,
centimeters, so like you're not mini god,
yeah.
like at
It's
least
gonna
train
be
on normal
tough.
senses. And sometimes another thing I'll do is like I don't know if you've ever done this, but like I'll have someone try another sense and then they try both of them. If
Mhm,
they feel like one's better than the other, then they can go to the new one. And if not, I'll just tell them like play around with it for the next few days, and whichever one you like better, just stick with or don't stick with
mhm.
any. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't know. It's like I think like coaches can't really tell what sensitivity
Yeah,
to play. I feel like that's not something
it is hard to.
you can
It's
do.
definitely hard to tell
Yeah.
as a coach. Yeah, it's more something you can just like I've probably coached at this
Um.
point like a couple hundred people. So I started to get the notion that like I started to notice a trend that if someone's playing Valorant as their main game and they play below 30 centimeters, lowering that by like 5 to 10 centimeters almost always makes them play better. Like I've never recommended that to someone and not
Mhm.
seen them improve. That's one
I
interesting
see.
thing I've noticed. Like
Mm.
people
Um.
like even noted like I gave that to noted and he
Cool.
played better like all across the board,
Damn.
all
Okay.
across skill
That's
levels.
crazy, actually.
People have played better that way. Like he says to me, I ask him if he felt better on the new sense. He says
Mhm.
well, I recommended he lower it 5 centimeters from like something to something. I text him. I noted you feel better on this sense. He says no, but then I'm like really. He's like yeah, I had to go back to, and then he says the sense I recommended to him because he went like to like 38 centimeters where he was using so much arm motion, not enough wrist motion.
Yeah.
That pushed it too far for him. So he actually did like the sense I recommended. He just forgot which one I recommended.
Okay.
So yeah, I
Um.
found like
I feel
yeah
like the other thing with arm aiming compared to wrist aiming is actually it is like people don't understand how much strain it actually is for your wrist.
yeah
If you
like
constantly wrist aim, that
yeah.
that is not good. It's
It's
really, and like you
definitely a
should do stretches
balance.
either way,
Yeah, it's like a
but
balance of how much you want to use
yeah,
each one. Have you read the
because
buckshot tracking guide?
no, I have not.
It's
I have not.
this is this
Reactive
guy who's
tracking.
getting a bunch of top
I
reactive
know.
tracking
Air
scores.
track.
Yeah, you
Yeah, yeah, I know.
heard of
He's
him?
crazy good.
Yeah, he's
I have
very
heard.
good.
Yeah, yeah. He's really, really good.
I'd recommend the guide. It's
It's
like a 10-minute read, not even. Very fast, 9 pages or so on a Google Doc, but they're like spaced out very heavily. And
hmm
yeah, it's like very fast. It just talks about different things. Like he talks a lot about using your wrist when the bot starts moving and then moving into your arm as it moves like wider degrees. It
Ooh.
seemed like a lot of thought was going into how to aim. Like I don't know.
hmm
Actually, let me ask you this:
I
how
like the
much?
idea actually.
Yeah. How much do you
like
think about like which joint you're using when you're aiming in an aim trainer?
oh, that is a good question. Wow. Um, Actually, I feel like I either have no thoughts while aim training,
Huh?
or and that is actually sometimes like of my PBs, like
Huh?
most of my world records even
Yeah.
happen while I talk to someone, or like
Yeah.
I while
While you're
I have like
distracting yourself.
while I'm really distracted. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
happens a lot to me. So I don't really think about what muscles I move actually, like
I don't
or
either,
how I
honestly.
really track. I don't think about that whatsoever. I just look at the target and then, well, I either hyper focus on that target when
Yeah.
I'm like only listening to music and not really talking to someone.
Yeah.
When I'm talking to someone, I'm like paying half attention and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like it just
It
like that's
happens.
somewhat like flow state already for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean by that. Have you read The Inner Game of Tennis?
I think I have like read a few like things of it, yeah.
I'd
Not the
strongly
entire thing.
okay, if you
Not,
can get it,
not
if
yet.
you ever get a chance to, it's like you can get an audiobook that takes like 4 hours. It would
Mhm.
definitely recommend it. It helped me a lot with my coach and helped me a lot with that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard it's really good. Did you just read the thing with never has any thoughts? Salzi has never any thoughts. That's toxic,
I
man.
did. That's what I was laughing, but I have the Krisp noise filtration on, so you probably didn't hear it. That
I
is
did.
fun.
I heard it a bit.
Oh,
Cartoon
okay.
is a bit toxic. He doesn't like me. I don't know
Cartoon
why.
is a
I think
funny guy. I like.
he is scared that I will overtake him in static now.
I mean,
He's
you probably
scared.
will. Cartoon.
Yeah, it's not too hard.
That's true. That's true.
Mhm. Yeah,
Cartoon
it's true.
third tier static. No, I'm joking. I love you, Cartoon. But let's see. Where were we going with that? Yeah, I kind of agree with you, but like I don't really think about my joints, but apparently Buck does think a lot about like his joints when he's aiming, or at least that's what it seemed like from the guide. So like definitely an interesting thing. You got
Yeah.
any thoughts on that? Like
Um.
thinking about like using your like he says usually start out like smaller angles with your fingers, then move on to the wrist, then the
Yeah.
arm.
I've thought about like learning that or like focusing on that more, but it's like it's really hard to start with that because you have to really get a feeling for like what like each muscle of your hand. You actually have to get like you should or what at least like what that's what Siba actually wanted to do with me
Yeah.
once or like try to explain me that I should feel like my hand and like just look where my joints are, like where like
Uh-huh.
what moves in my hand when I aim. What
Uh-huh.
exactly do I even do? And then after that I should like maybe see what I could optimize and what exactly is the issue sometimes. And then maybe focus on that. I thought about it. It's hard to get into
Yeah, I've
because
talked with him
it's like,
before.
yeah,
Or them or yeah, I've talked with Seba
yeah,
on Twitter before about what's it called? The different joints and
yeah.
yeah, like
He knows a lot about that.
yeah.
Them,
Yeah.
they know a lot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
It's crazy
it
how good
seems
they are
like
at
they're
that.
very much aware of like each small movement like within like while aiming, which I've noticed seems to be like it seems like there's kind of like two schools of thought within top aimers that I've noticed. There's the people who are absolutely silent in their mind, like who is Aqua. I talked to him like he's just silent in his mind. He's like just his hand moves, he can have conversation like just like you. He
Mhm.
sets his world records. And there's people like Siba who like aim around and
Yeah,
just
just
think a lot
absolutely
about it
go
and like
crazy. Yeah.
yeah and I don't know. I feel like it's very interesting like which one is better.
Hmm.
I feel like
I don't think we like there's a better than that. I
yeah,
feel like that
it's definitely a question.
some people, I think that is me personally. It has a lot about like a lot of to do with ADHD actually,
Yeah,
because a lot of the top aimers have ADHD, which
yeah,
is kind of funny to me. Um, and most like I feel like the top aimers with ADHD are more on the thinking like
yeah,
doing random things while they aim,
yeah.
and then they will just get like crazy scores. I feel like that is, in my opinion, that is like something that happens a lot. I think Siba has ADHD. I think Guerry as well, and I have as well.
Hmm.
So as far as I know, we all somewhat like tend to like do something else, like listen to loud music or anything like that,
Okay.
like to
He
distract our
does
minds
listen.
as well.
Okay, he's distracting his mind as well. I know I
So
saw a lot of like, or sorry, them like, I know I saw a lot of like talking on Twitter about like Seba specifically like thinking about moving each like
yeah,
joint like
they do
while
that a lot.
yeah
They do that a
while
lot.
aiming. Yeah,
It's crazy.
like that's
I
interesting.
feel
I
that
wonder if
could probably
it's
like difficult. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wonder if it's that they're like so in tune with like their mind that it's like the motions are really like unconscious, but they just like feel like the unconscious and conscious are one like unit, and that's why it works. Like, cause like I mean you like know what I mean, like consciousness and like you're able to like have
Mhm.
like one part of your mind listening to music while another part is like aiming, right? And for Seba, that just feels like those two like are moving in one unit, and that's why it feels like
Yeah.
when in
I
reality
feel
it's like the
like
same process as you.
I
Or
f-
yeah,
it might be that I think the music is not necessarily something that you should listen to.
uh-huh,
It's more like it's like some you need to have something like a white noise machine. It can
yeah,
be anything. It doesn't have to be music. It can be a podcast, for example. It can be literally anything that is like playing the background so you don't, because like I said, if you, that's like the same thing in games. If you hyper focus on your aim while aiming while playing any game, your aim will most likely get worse. That is just the thing. And I think the same thing will apply in aim chatting as well.
yeah,
So if you hyper focus on the aiming, without any distractions, you will get into your own head and be like, don't miss, don't miss. And then at some point you will miss.
yeah,
And then it's not gonna be like, it's gonna be way worse. Then you start tensing because you're like pissed that you missed now. And
yeah,
then the moment you start tensing, it just gets worse and worse. And then at
yeah,
some point it's just impossible to play. So I think the music is just something to keep your brain somewhat distracted.
yeah.
I think that's the main purpose of that.
Now this will loop
Um,
back into it, but you know Europe, the static player.
mhm,
Now, when he
yeah.
gets on, he's just like focusing on getting a high score. Like he just loads into aim lab, picks some scenario that he wants the world record on, and just plays it until he has the world record on it, or until he goes to sleep. Like that's just
Mhm.
he and I were talking. That's how he plays. Like, do you actually like do training playlists, or are you just like
No,
get on, go for the
I'm
world record?
okay. But okay, now that I think about it, like I have like for tracking, I feel like a bit easier because you can have like smaller versions of things.
Yeah,
For example, I have for jump track, that's like currently the thing I'm playing. I have 50% smaller, 30% smaller, 40% smaller, 20% smaller. Like I have like smaller versions of that,
yeah,
just so I can be even more precise on the
yeah,
normal one.
yeah,
So I feel like I do that, but I don't really have training days. So like some, because people have that as well. They
yeah,
have like one training day and then one performance day.
yeah.
I don't have that at all. I just like warm up in those smaller versions, so I can like be even better in the normal one.
Okay.
That's what I do sometimes.
Even all right. Even though you don't train, I'm gonna ask you for your thoughts on this like training mindset idea.
Hmm.
Basically, the idea is that like when you're training, what you want to do is kind of like be focused in a different way from when you're actually performing. Like when you're performing, you just want to be in a flow state, but when you're training, you want to be like very much aware of what the outcome of your aim is. Like be
Hmm.
focused, be like, for example, in tracking, like know when you're trailing. Like if you, like that was an issue for me for a while. I would trail bots and like smooth bot and stuff. So I would just focus like just say in my head when I was trailing and when I wasn't trailing. Like
Hmm.
good, 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 trailing, trailing. And like try and like have that as my thought process and as a way to like teach myself not to trail. Like what do you think about that mindset
I
mentality?
I like the idea, like with the like different approach, like different mindsets. Basically, I mean, you have different mindset in that case,
Yeah.
where you point out your flaws and your mistakes
Yeah.
while playing, or like
Yeah.
you're aware of your mistakes a lot
Yeah.
more. And I feel like that idea could really work, but I'm like a person that wants to get the
I
world
score.
record
That's
as
the only
fast
thing.
as possible.
Yeah, I know
Like,
what you mean. That just motivates you to get on and yeah, I
but at the
agree with
same
you.
time, I'm like, is it really the most efficient way? Because if you think about it, like these training days,
Yeah.
I don't know how much time that will save you. And that's something I'm like always a bit skeptical with. How much time will it actually save me on those days where I want to get the world record? And
Yeah.
so I'm not sure how much like the efficiency is there.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely fair. It's hard to say like what's important. Do you self VOD review?
No, I actually have never done that once.
I've done it once
Uh
or twice with the aim lab replay system,
I
but I haven't
have
done it.
I have like I made hand cam VODs for myself,
Yeah.
but I never really like I looked at them and was like mainly, oh wow, I really do not use my wrist
Yeah.
whatsoever.
And that
And it was
was
really,
per
really
Seba's
concerned.
advice.
No, it was actually I just wondered. I wondered how I aim because I never like really looked at
Yeah, I know what you mean.
my
It's
hand
hard. Yeah,
movement,
it just does it.
and it just I was like, God damn, because I knew that my technique was already strange because I had like really low sense, but I never realized how incredibly stiff my hand is.
Uh-huh.
Like that was like half a year ago, and I was like, wow, I I don't use my wrist ever,
Uh-huh.
and I use like I figured at that time actually that's something that like I'm kind of grateful for that I
Yeah.
realized that I use my shoulder a lot more than I thought, and apparently that's like something that not a lot of people are able to do or like capable
A
because that's
lot of
like
shoulder motion by aim.
yeah, a lot of shoulder motion, which is like needed because I think there was
I
a jump
think
trick on again 70 centimeters. So
uh-huh.
yeah, you kind of like fucked if you don't use like
Yeah.
shoulder as well.
I feel like
You have a
the
problem
issue
if you
with a
don't do that.
lot of people not using their shoulder motion and ending their motion at their elbow, right?
Mhm.
Or not doing much after their elbow is that a lot of people's chair and desk height are at such a weird ratio that like they would have to pull their shoulders up, shrug them a lot to be able to move it, and
Mhm.
it just becomes like a biomechanical issue that they just can't use their shoulders, or they'd have to like position themselves in a weird way. Like when I started out, my chair was super low compared to my desk, so my shoulder was actually at table height, right?
Mhm.
And I would just
Oh
lay
wow,
my
wait, what?
arms. Yeah, I
Oh
know.
god.
It was my table was high, my chair was low, and I was like leaning back on it. So I'd lay my arm, like my elbow on it, and I would just like
Let's try
move
that.
horizontally. And I noticed like I'm not using and then at one point I started to notice I'm not using any shoulder motion. I gotta move my chair up. I got a new chair. I actually took a stool from my house and just
Mhm.
started moving that way. And I was like, this helps a lot. And I bought a new chair, and yeah, it helped me a lot more, like being able to move shoulder motion because I just wasn't
Mhm.
able to move up and down vertically, like flicking. It was just impossible.
It's actually kind of funny that you mentioned that because that is something I realized like not even 1 week ago. Like I realized how much impact that actually has on
Yeah,
gameplay. The difference between it. I was really
yeah,
I never really thought about that. So I think I was sitting too high actually compared to my table.
yeah.
And now I'm like I've like lowered my chair a bit, and I'm like, wow, I'm actually a bit smoother now. Like I was way less tensed. My because before, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
my shoulder was always like in the air.
Hmm.
So I like it was always in the air, and now that it's like always on the and now that it's always on the
Your
table as
elbow, you
well.
mean?
Yeah, my elbow, like it's always on the table now as well.
Yeah,
Since I'm a bit lower now, it's like I have way more control about what I'm doing really. So it's
yeah,
like it's a lot better for me. I never
yeah.
really thought that would make that much of a difference, to be honest. So
That
I'm
make
quite happy with that.
that's good. That's good that that helps. Let's see. What else? Where did I want to go? Yeah, that's biomechanics help a decent bit. What do you think about like while we're on the topic of biomechanics? What do you think about like finger motion and mouse grip and stuff? That's a very hot topic in my
Ooh,
opinion.
yeah, it is.
I get a
I
lot of
feel like
hate when I talk about this.
I can't lie. Um, Mouse grip. I feel like just move your mouse. Don't overthink that. Don't please. It is really. It's pick up your mouse and think about what does feel right to you, and then
Yeah.
play it like that. Of course, I'm not saying that some mouse grips will help in different things. Of
Uh
course,
huh.
for example, a palm grip, at least for me, when I started with aim training, was a lot better for control
Yeah.
because like you were smoother. It just made sense for me to play palm grip because you have all the control you need. Of
Yeah.
course, you don't have flexibility whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that was like the big issue for me.
Yeah.
But for precise tracking, you don't really need that much of flexibility. So it
Your
was fine for
fingers
me. And
on 70
then
centimeters.
on 70, yeah, on 70 cent, yeah. Um, um, so yeah, that was. I feel like people should just literally play whatever grip they feel like, and if it's a weird grip like aqua or some shit, go for it. Whatever. It
Cool.
doesn't really matter that much.
Love the aqua grip. I'm gonna say I'm definitely. This is why I tend to get a lot of hate when I talk about mouse grip. Hold on, let's see. When is my next coaching session at? Oh, what day of the week is it? It's Monday. Okay, cool. Just saw a little Metafy notification. So yeah, what I feel like with mouse grip, I feel like it's important to get finger motion. I feel like if the palm grip is the only grip that feels comfortable and like good, that's either a force of habit, like you've just been on palm grip for so long that it just happens to feel good that way, or your mouse is just too heavy. Because like if you're with like a something 80 grams, it's gonna be impossible to like do a grip that allows finger motion. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
So I feel like your fingers are just capable of so much precision relative to like your other joints just because of the way people evolved that you should at least try to use them in your aim. You know what I mean? Or try to like give
Yeah.
yourself a
No, I
setup
think
where
so
you
too.
can use them in your aim.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like
That is,
there
I think it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, there are situations like there are some scenarios that like don't need them, like horizontal smoothness scenarios, low
Yeah.
sense stuff, and like when you're doing very fast flicks, then I guess that can get in the way. And like it's a topic that I'm debating with myself constantly, pretty much. I think it's hard to think about. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like the thing with fingertip grips and stuff like that, especially like regarding Valorant now, I feel like you don't have this ability to do that. If you play Valorant on a level where aim doesn't really matter anymore, well, in general, like you can't. I feel like people say that too lightly. Valorant does involve aim, but it's not the kind of aim you and I can train. I feel like sometimes
Yeah,
it helps if you have good aim. Definitely, I'm not saying that, but the aim you have is always really, really correlated to your game sense.
yeah,
Because in general, the only time you really need aim is when you kill someone and you flick on someone else. That is
yeah,
the only time you really should have needed aim, because
yeah,
anywhere else you just hold the angle, and there it depends on how far you hold the angle. That is game sense, in my opinion. That
yeah,
is pure game sense, and like just experience, to be honest, as well. But the moment where you flick onto an enemy, that has to be a fast motion,
yeah,
and fingertip doesn't really help there. You need stability there. For just holding an angle, you need stability, and if your fingertips, since they are so sensitive, basically, like every
yeah,
motion can like completely can make you completely miss the shot.
yeah.
So I think fingertip, like I said, you can play whatever you want, but fingertip, I could not do that. I could not play fingertip in
I have to
Valorant.
ask,
I need
what
the
mouse are
stability.
you using right now?
Oh, mouse. I use the G Pro Superlight.
And what
It's like
mice do
the.
you tend to use?
I actually only use that. I don't have
You've
any
only
other.
used that? Okay.
I
Yeah,
only
I'm
use
gonna
that.
say I definitely see what you mean. Like with the super light, the fingertip becomes like very difficult.
Mm,
That's why I feel like mice and specifically mouse weight has a lot to do with like aiming. Right, I've been using a
mm,
fingertip grip for a decent bit now, and I started out using it on a super light, and the tension I needed to flick in Valorant was just insane. Like it just
yeah.
wasn't working. Right now, I use
Um.
an HSK Pro Ace, which is 25 grams, almost a third the weight of
Oh,
that mouse,
wow.
which means
Oh,
that
wow.
it's still wireless. It means I need a lot less
Yeah.
stability to keep this thing stable. You know what I mean? And I feel like, and what was I saying again? I feel like that makes it much more easy to flick fast while doing the fingertip grip. So I feel like there becomes the debate like, what if fingertips grip is unstable or if it's just unstable when you're on a heavy mouse, you know what I mean, or a certain weight
Yeah.
mouse. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's kind of like that's like kind of the question I'm playing around with myself with, and I don't know if you have any opinions on that. That's just something I'm looking into now.
Um, yeah, I want to try different mice to be honest, but actually it's I don't have the money, bro. I do not
That's
have the money
completely
to buy a lot
reasonable.
of mice. Yeah, like they are really like good mice are really expensive.
I've only used a
So,
few mice, honestly.
oh yeah, okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I mean, it's not the only mouse I've ever used. Obviously, I had
Yeah.
the good old Death Adder. Yeah,
Oh,
the Death Adder,
everyone
one
has
of
that.
the
Did you have
one of
that?
the
Uh huh.
greats, one of the great mice of all time. And obviously, glorious Model O,
Uh
obviously,
huh.
like average mice as well.
You started PC
So
gaming just a bit before me, so I gotta ask: did you ever have your G502 phase?
no, I have not. I have never had,
That's
bro.
how I started out.
I
It was.
think I had my Death Adder for like a solid 4 years.
Oh wow.
I have had it a lot.
Okay, yeah, yeah. That mouse, like that. What is that? 90 grams, 80 grams.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's like impossible to fingertip.
Yeah, you can't really do that.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah.
if you have $100 sitting around, which I'm guessing you don't, which is fine. Um, but if you do get the chance to try out the HSK Pro Ace, I think it's a pretty cool mouse.
Mhm.
Also, if you can get your Twitch sub followers and your Twitch and your YouTube to your
Finally,
goal, you can just start harassing people for free stuff. Like,
let's go.
and they'll just give
That's
it to you. Like,
huge.
I did not pay for my SkyPad. I can say that much. And there will be a video about SkyPads on my YouTube channel soon. But yeah, it's like
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
I could have gotten. Yeah, I just got a SkyPad. You ever use a SkyPad?
Wait, is that an actual How do you not know? I used to be the Skypad player of all
You used to be
times.
the SkyPad player of all
I
time.
was this Skypad basically.
You were
Yeah, I used
SkyPad
Skypad a
himself.
long time. I think literally switched from Skypad to Hien only for Valorant and like
Memes.
anything except tracking,
Uh huh.
like 1 month ago max. I think less even.
And you still
Before
use
that,
SkyPad for tracking?
yeah, for like because like the for me it still feels weird if I, for example, play like jump track or like vertical tracking in general feels really weird for me, and I do not like this.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm sticking to Hien for most things now.
Yeah.
But for tracking, I feel like the Skypad is just unbeatable, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's I feel like it's so good. I mean, like Maddie said on stream once, and I remember that for hard tracking scenarios, like for tracking scenarios he can't play, he will cheat with the Skypad. So it's like it is,
It's
my
cool.
opinion, an absolute top tier mousepad. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's not for everyone because it's like it's really fast. It's hard to control. Um, but it's playable definitely. And I feel like everyone who says that Skypad is like not doable with Valorant or anything like that, I don't know. That seems a bit like I kind of like it seems a bit like coping. It is a bit of cope in my opinion. It is doable. It is it might be a bit more difficult, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So I don't know.
That makes sense. Yeah. SkyPad. I've been using the SkyPad and like across the board just because I need to figure out what I like about it, what I don't for the review. And what do you feel like the main benefits? Like, why do you feel like it was so easy for Maddie to track with it and stuff?
Um, well, since it has like a high skill ceiling, I feel like Skypad is difficult. If you have really good mouse control already,
Mm-hmm.
then it's getting a lot easier in my opinion. Um, like if you have good mouse control already, and if you like somewhat like I don't know, it's hard to describe. Like mouse control is like the most important part, I guess, where you can like like I guess there's also like something with like finger control you have to have somewhat
Yeah.
for the Skypad because there's like you need to get that precision somehow
Uh huh.
because precision is going to be the most difficult part about the Skypad
Uh
and the
huh.
stopping power obviously. Um, but I feel like Skypad why he is so good, or like why he would think that it's so really good, is because, well, first of all, he is like rank 1 mouse control basically. You
Yeah.
can say that. So he will not have a problem with that.
Yeah.
He has also tried a lot of different mouse pads and mice already,
Uh-huh.
so he has like maybe some better feeling for that.
Yeah.
I personally, I did the mistake, you could say, that I went literally from the, like, there's like an Excel sheet for that, for like the fastest mousepad and the lowest mousepad. And
Like
I apparently
lowest isn't
went from
cheapest. Oh,
hmm?
least fast. No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Least fast, yeah. It was like, oh, like slowest, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I went apparently from the absolute slowest pad possible, from the muddiest mud pad of all times, to the fastest that is Skypad. And that was in the right at the beginning. Like, I think I started with the Rebelsec benchmarks literally 1 year ago,
Yeah.
like exactly 1 year ago. And I think 5 days 1 year ago, I got my Skypad.
So that's 2022. So you're on the Skypad
Yeah,
3.0.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And
So that was
what
like
color?
somewhat of a mistake for me. The black one.
Ugh.
What?
What?
I thought you said
I did.
Oh,
I
wow.
just
Okay,
figured that
that's
was
kind of toxic.
assumed. You ran the worst color, Salzi. You want to see my Skypad?
What do you mean?
Let me
Do you
take
have
a
a pink
picture.
one?
What?
Do you have a pink one? What color do you have? Wait.
I'm going to
Oh,
show
I
you.
would love to have a custom one. Did
I
you
do.
see?
I
Oh my
wish I
god.
had a custom one.
Oh my god.
I
Did you
was
see
harassing Bazin for one, but he wouldn't give it to me.
do you know what custom one Haunter had? Haunter is by far the best one.
What is it?
Haunter's iPad is wait. I need to
Let's see
find it.
it.
Maybe is there a picture of that?
I
It is
just sent you a
so
picture of my Skypad. Very nice.
Haunter. I have the pink one. Yeah, you have the pink one. It's also really good. But I mean, back at when I bought it, because I bought it off of Kickstarter, so
Uh huh.
very first one. Like you couldn't even get the pink one. I only had black or white.
Oh, cringe.
Contra Skypad. It was such a good Skypad. It's
See
so
this.
beautiful. Doesn't
That would be a
okay, I
Skypad
don't know.
2.0. I don't think they do custom 3.0s.
I mean, even then, that's still like, it's still
Yeah.
like he has. I don't know if I can find a
You know
picture of that.
Bazin, the RA director, who's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like begging him for like make custom Skypads. Like I said
Yeah,
to
because they will. That is so good. That would be so good.
I said to him,
So
how
nice.
much, like, how famous do I have to get for him to make, like, a West Prodder merch Skypad? And he was like, 100 to 200,000 following on social media. I was like, bet.
That's doable. Yeah, no.
It's like, what, 5 times my YouTube subs? I can do that. 5 to 10 times my YouTube subs. People subscribe if you want a Skypad. Also, I decided, 25,000 subs, I release an arm sleeve.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
Dex, he's going to design it. The letter Dex, he's my editor. He's going to
I
design
see.
this arm sleeve, custom arm sleeve for people. I think it's pretty cool. Let's see, you find Haunter's Skypad.
No, I still can't find it. I think because he took down every video. I feel like
Ah, that's
I can't
unfortunate.
find it. That is so sad. He had like wait, maybe I can find the picture itself. Touching fingers, painting there. Maybe. Yeah. He has this on his Skypad.
The-
This one. Exactly this picture. It is such a good idea. It is so
Oh,
nice. It is
that
like
actually, that sounds really cool.
seeing that on a Skypad while he's like perfectly tracking everything. That is crazy good.
That is actually very cool. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that like balances like having a cool pattern and also what's it called? Like not being so colorful, like so like I feel like a custom pad can get chaotic easily.
Yeah,
Like I feel like the
that is
Aim Lab one wasn't too bad, but if there was more colors in that, it would be like very
it,
bad.
it was already a lot of color. It
It
was a
was
lot
like
of colors
excessive,
already.
but I don't think it was too excessive. I
Yeah,
don't know if
that's true.
yeah, I feel like it flowed okay. I feel like that's the hard
Mm,
part about merch. Like one, if you're making like a merch for gaming, or like if I were to launch merch for my YouTube channel, people would like it would need to be like if you had no idea what my YouTube channel was and you saw someone wearing the merch, you wouldn't like question it. It would just look like a normal shirt to you.
Yeah,
But
I
like
would like that would be so much better.
like
I
that
mean,
was
I
the
gotta.
yeah.
Yeah, that's better. That's so much better.
Like that was the issue with the Kovacs merch, in my opinion. Why,
Yeah.
like, because
That
it's
is.
like you can't wear that in public because it's just like too many people are like,
I
what
did
is
that
this?
once. You have to, I have I was since I used to be in Aim Lab Discord moderator, and we
Yeah,
got like free shirts once,
yeah.
and I wore it once. I had the balls to once wear it,
Oh,
and do you know the design of it? It's like really good because
send
it's
it
like
to me.
from Champion. It's like a
Yeah.
Champion X.
Can you send me a
Um,
picture?
I'm searching right now. Champion Aim Lab. Yeah, basically this. Yeah, right. Basically this. So it's like very apparent that it's Aim Lab. Like they did not try to hide that. It's right on
Oh yeah,
there.
Aim Lab Champion. Yeah, it's a small image, but yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a smaller. Yeah,
that's
like it's like you can really tell that it is.
which I guess
So
their intent is like you need it to say so that people like they want people to look into Aim Lab, right? Like
yeah,
it's like meant as
I mean I
advertising.
get that.
Like my
Um,
merch would just be like not for
yeah, no,
advertising.
it makes
Yeah.
more sense to do like that. It makes way more sense to make it something
Yeah.
that like it shouldn't be like you shouldn't be like a walking advertisement. I
Yeah,
feel like that is
exactly.
not the
Like
intent of Smirch.
that would just like that kind of merch, like unless it's like a cool brand that like you want
Yeah,
people to like if it's like something to do with a gym, like oh yeah, I'd like or like a gym like I'd wear like a shirt that says like a gym or a college on it, but like Aim Lab, Kovac, like those are the things that you keep to yourself.
hmm.
Rafal, bro said it's like around 1,000 times now, I think. That's what happens when I don't have a script. Uh,
Wait, I
Raf-
thought he went me. Ah, well, unlucky.
it's like
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel
It's
like
like
I thought it was
uh,
me. I don't know. Wait, which one, Rafal?
yeah, Rafa, who are you flaming here? Who's gonna ban you?
By no fault of my own, um, for whatever reason, I didn't set it. I didn't mean to set it up this way, but stream delay is like 20 seconds. I don't know why. So it'll be a minute before Rafal hears us and can respond
I
to us,
know.
so we can
Unlucky.
just continue
You
on
can
with
just
the
flame him. Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Yeah,
conversation while we
exactly. Yeah,
wait for
sure.
Rafal to come back. Um, so what were you saying again? Oh yeah, yeah. Like aim at merch is just hard. Like Beluga, the guy who makes like Discord
Yeah,
memes.
yeah.
Yeah, like his
Yeah.
merch, I feel like came out really well. Like it was like that was what he said. He was like, if anyone else sees you in this, it's a cat shirt. But if one of my other viewers sees you in this, they'll know you're a viewer, and it's gonna be cool. Like I feel like that's
That
another
is
part of the merch.
that
Like
makes sense. That makes a lot of
yeah,
that actually makes a lot of sense.
like
I'm still waiting for the Revo socks actually.
I ever tell you the
Still
time I
waiting
met
for
a
them.
viewer in real life?
Wait, you have?
I
Wait,
have.
that's crazy.
I was just walking
Wow.
around campus. It wasn't like a loyal viewer. It was just a guy who saw like one or two videos apparently. But like I was just walking around campus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was like, and I just happened to bump into oh Rafal Salzi. Oh yeah, you are the one who says it a lot, not me
God damn it, I'm
apparently.
gonna ban him. Unlucky.
I don't. Oh, you don't have. You won't ban him from my chat. You can't do that, so it's fine.
Yeah, no, I will ban him from my chat. All good.
I want to get
He's gone.
Rafal on an interview at some point in the future, so I won't ban him.
Okay, that makes sense.
Let's see. What was I saying again?
You bumped into him on
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
chat?
So there was this. It was the stupidest thing. There was this guy on a like dirt bike, borderline motorcycle type thing going down a sidewalk in the middle of my campus, right? Basically, when
Uh-huh.
there was like shoulder to shoulder traffic, so it was just like a guy trying to weave traffic on a motorcycle, but foot traffic. And I just look at the kid next to me. I'm like, bro, what is this? And we just make eye contact and just start dying laughing at the guy. And then we're just talking for a minute. It's like, oh yeah, I play video games. And I was like, oh no way, me too. And then I was like, no way. And then he was like, what's your Discord? I gave him my Discord. He's like, oh no, what? This looks familiar. And then I was like, oh yeah. He's like, what do you play? I was like, mostly just Kovacs. He was like, hold on. Starts drawing dots. He was like, I was like, he was like, wait, do you have a YouTube channel? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, I saw one of your videos. That's why it looks familiar. I was like, oh, it was just
That's kind of
funny.
funny actually.
I thought it was
Now that
pretty funny.
I mean that has to feel so fucking good actually.
It felt pretty cool, honestly. It did
Yeah,
feel pretty
that
cool.
has to feel really really nice. I mean, I I made the mistake of talking about my gaming stuff in my school.
Uh huh.
Horrible, horrible mistake. I
Really?
would not do it again. I mean, for people who are not in the aim training community, the aim training community seems really special. Yeah, it seems really special
Yeah.
with the different types of personalities that are in there,
Oh yeah.
and just the like entire idea of it. I mean, it's not like that they don't play video games themselves. It's just like they, I don't know, they see me like as a nerd or some shit. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not true. Let's be honest here, but it's like, I don't know, especially when I go into your streams, that is horrible. I can tell you that is horrible when IRLs go into your stream and they're like, what, 17, 18?
Yeah.
They will they will make fun the entire time.
I
Or
remember
what is even worse, they
yeah.
only talk German. And like they make fun of you. I've had that actually. I've had people flame me on stream for being for speaking English even though I'm German. I've had people
Uh-huh.
flame me for that. I don't know why, but like interesting.
I mean,
I was really confused.
makes sense you'd speak English since it's like a bigger
Yeah,
audience.
yeah, it's like makes way more
Yeah.
sense.
What was I saying? Oh, AOD's in chat. No way. We got a chat's a banger right now. Let's see.
I'm not mid. Fuck man. Why do they say that I'm mid?
Did
What's
AOD
this?
say you're mid too?
Cartoon again, but he said no wonder.
No
Nah, that
wonder
was
you won the
crazy.
interview was with.
XRA red number, but I mean this time at least I didn't get kicked, I guess. So whatever.
No, you got kicked the first time.
I got kicked the first time, yeah.
Why'd you get kicked? Can you talk about it on stream?
I mean, yeah, I could. I mean,
Would it get me banned from YouTube? And do you not want to talk about it? Like either one, and we don't have to talk about it.
Oh no, why would you get banned for that? No.
Because
That's
if you have to
something
like
bad.
give bad, okay, yeah, tell it.
No, like it's just that I got like performance issues mainly.
You
Because
weren't.
like it was at the time. Actually, I talked about this with
Oh,
with
Sin was
someone in
just like
RA.
you're too mid and kicked you.
Yeah, basically.
Oh my god,
I actually have talked about
Salzi
that
mid.
with someone, and we concluded that it made sense. It was just conveyed really bad, to be honest, from the staff members. In general, me getting kicked at this time, it should have happened way earlier, way earlier.
Yeah.
The thing was, since I was like in the beginning, I was seen somewhat like a prodigy, which is like, it was good for my confidence and for my improvement rate, but it was bad because I got burned out really fast from aim
Okay.
training. So I got when I started with the RA benchmarks, I got to.
Did you see what
Arkin
Cartoon said? I'm not gonna read it out loud, but did you see what Cartoon said?
I know. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly why I got kicked, actually. How do you know?
Yeah, they signed you so that like in case you ended up like Bulldog.
Somewhat, yeah. It was like basically I got Arkin within the first 2 weeks of like RA benchmarks, and then I think after 3 weeks I was already in RA, which was way too fast. They should
Yeah.
have like
Arkin getting signed in from Arkin is actually insane.
I mean, to be fair, it was at the beginning of the benchmarks, and I think I was at the time like ranks 8 or something. Like it was really good already. But like it's still, they signed me so fast that I didn't really have a reason to grind anymore.
Yeah.
And that was like the issue. So they should have like kept baiting me. Like they should have said, okay, if you do a bit more, then you get NRA. And if they would have done it like that, then this all would have been avoided completely.
Yeah. And
because I was extremely good at precise tracking, but I was horrible at anything else.
Yeah. And just curious, what does getting signed into RA actually do for you? Like a lot of people don't really know that. Like I don't believe. Do you get paid for like just sitting around and doing nothing, or is it like
no, you
no,
don't.
they don't pay. Yeah, they just pay the people who actually do work, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So like, what is the benefits? Like, what made that such a goal for you?
Well, for me in the beginning, I will not even try to lie about it. It was to some degree definitely cloud, 100%. I will not even try to like say no, it was not for some followers. It was, and it was definitely important. Like because it got my name out there a lot faster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like immediately people knew about me. And the other thing was, it was just something you feel accomplished. Like you do something, you grind something for hundreds of hours,
Uh-huh.
and then you get like rewarded for being for getting to that team.
Uh-huh.
So it was just something like you get rewarded for like just grinding a lot more than
Do you
others
feel
do.
like being in the team like kind of gave you like camaraderie with people and like you made friends that way, or do you feel
Yeah,
like
I also did that. Yeah,
that's good?
like I got also friends from off of that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So those like I feel like there's no like real monetary gain unless you see like followers and then based off of that you can get money.
Yeah.
Except if you see it like that, you don't really get money off
Yeah.
of that. So it was just like it was just like an accomplishment
Yeah.
for myself, achievement, something like that. Yeah.
And what was the whole thing where you joined and then left to RA Red? Like the
Oh
feeder
yeah.
team for Reva Sect. What was the inspiration behind
So
that?
the inspiration was like that I wanted to get into RA main again.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I guess I wanted it too fast. So basically, the thing was, I think I got signed into RA Red again. Like not really signed, but like I got into RA Red again.
Yeah.
Sometime around August, I think. I'm not until like July or something like
Uh-huh.
that. And when that happened, I thought that I'm gonna get into RA main. I like that was like the bad thing. I thought I was gonna get into RA main a lot faster than actually would have happened,
Uh-huh.
which makes sense because now they have this RA red. RA red would have been the perfect thing for me when like back in
Yeah.
when I started. That
Yeah.
would have been perfect for me
Yeah.
because I've been close to the goal I want to get, but I would have had to grind a lot more.
Yeah.
So I was in RA red with the idea I will grind a lot to get RA main again.
Mm-hmm.
But even though I was, I think, peak top 3 benchmarks with like 5 rank 1s at the time
Uh-huh.
at some point, they still did not get me into RA main. And then I just got, like, I was
Yeah.
mad. Obviously, I was pissed. I was just like a bit disappointed to some degree as well. And
Mm-hmm.
then I stopped grinding again.
Yeah.
And so at some point it was like kind of obvious I will not get RA main
Yeah.
again. And then I just was like, yeah, I'm kind of stuck in RA red now. So like there's not really something I can do here.
Yeah. So you just
So
like
I
called it.
decided
Yeah.
to leave. So yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. Sin just liked the tweet on announcing the stream, so he may be in chat. So I'm gonna just say this while he's in chat so that he hears it, but also just because I was gonna say it anyways. Um, what was I gonna say again? Oh yeah, I've noticed that a lot of the RA members like seem to not be have that good of scores. You know what I mean? Like the people in
Mm-hmm.
RA Red seem like I remember there's a whole Twitter thing when like they signed you and then Dark and then someone else was like RA Red is
Rafa,
passing the
yeah.
main team. Yeah, Rafal gets signed into RA Red. Yeah, it was like the Red is passing the main team.
It is to some degree. I have to say it is somewhat true.
I remember that like because there were like
In
people on the main
some.
team. I was like doing some sends like and I had Unans like on the call. Like I at one point decided I was gonna get Unans to coach me, right? And
Mhm.
I'd shoot a short score, and I'm just gonna be honest, I got like it was either a Sentinel or a Valor score, and I was like right ahead of a guy with RA on his name, and then and like I was like, this score's pretty bad. This guy's like not actually an RA. He just has that in his name as a meme, right? And like Unans was like, what? No, that's a real RA member. I was like, and Salzi's not in RA. And this guy's like actually like not an RA red rail RA. He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it just felt like there was a
um,
lot of people who like had like in-game accomplishments and followings and like skill, but not a
yeah,
lot of
that is
well-rounded benchmark skill, and that was kind
that
of
is
why they got signed for the
yeah,
main team.
that is the thing. So we have, I think, in the main team, they, they have in the main team, RA has in the main team at the moment, I think, 4 aim training players, you could say. That is, I think, Guerria, Skyuki, technically still Siba, and I
Huh?
think Desi.
Uh-huh.
Those are the people who are in the main team for aim training, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as I know, Siba at the moment, since he is not like main aim training, because he's like, I think those people either have like in-game things, like in actual games that are so high that it doesn't really matter, in my
Uh-huh.
opinion. Like Siba, I think top 500 Overwatch, so
Uh-huh.
that's good enough for main team, definitely.
Yeah.
Skooky, obviously you can't kick him for aim training. That's just not gonna work. Gravia as well. Gravia
Yeah.
up like top, like rank 2 in my opinion
Yeah.
of aim training at the moment. And Desi, I mean he's also really good at games. I know that I've played with him.
Yeah.
So that it makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's why I somewhat understand why I'm not in main team. I
Yeah.
somewhat understand that because and Luckin. Oh yeah, true. Luckin was also because of aim training, true. But like Luckin also, not only does he like at the moment grind benchmarks even, and
Yeah.
he is apparently ranked 53 in Valorant. So
Uh-huh.
completely fair. So for me, it made sense that I'm not RA to some degree, mainly because I just don't have any in-game accomplishments yet.
Okay.
And yeah,
I
so
just had
that is
AOD
the
just
main
said
thing.
in chat that Luckin is rank 53 in Valorant.
Yeah, like he is in I think he like
Oh, but
definitely
he's
rated
also
in
from
ENAC.
Ohio. Yeah, it was kind of
He's,
cancel out, so he's still just an aim
yeah,
training
that is
player.
true though. I agree. Yeah,
Ohio's not real. Changed my mind.
Ohio is definitely not real.
I have a cousin who goes to college in Ohio. Let's see.
I
Moving
figured
on.
that I don't think that you have a cousin after that.
All right, that's fair. Let's see. Let's see. So we're talking about. Let's see. Bees says there's also Suchi Heart. There's also Suchi and Heart who are like
And Stuki,
both. Suki, is
close
that
one.
how you spell it? I can't read Italian. I'm sorry.
I can I. Oh yeah, Hard. True. No, I forgot about Hard. Hard is just the
But
goat.
he's like
Hard is just the goat.
Heart does a lot of like moderation stuff and like that kind of
And
stuff.
like
So that
he's
makes
just
sense.
an aim training goat. He's like
Yeah. He's
me in terms
three.
of
He's one below Warrior, right? At the moment.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But the thing with Hard is I respect him so much for his grind set. Like I have already like top 5 grind set of all aim trainers, I feel like.
Uh-huh.
He's on a different level. He
Yeah.
is the same thing with like he gets on and he plays until he gets the world record.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't matter how long it takes. He goes with it, and I respect it so
I
much.
respect that. Let's see. Yeah.
Not just interest. Like I said that, bro. What do you mean, Rafael? I said that Luckiness also really good at is like really good at games. Huh?
Looking his face to 10. Yeah. He is good
But
at
I mean
games.
Luckin got into RA because of
Aim trainer
aim
scores.
training. I know that because that was right after he got into the last 50k challenge from AimLab. Of course, the other things also helped obviously him getting to an RA, but the aim lab thing put like RA's radar onto him. I feel like.
Rafal. Not gonna lie, I forgot Heart exists.
I mean, he's silent. I feel like, yeah, no, he is kind of silent, but I like that. Like he's a silent grinder. That's better. I feel like it's more. It's like crazier when you get the scores if you're like
Maddie
silent about
Overwatch, silent grinding until he announces that he's better than everyone.
that.
That was so. I love
That
that
is
tweet. That was
different.
so fun. It was like literally just a tweet. I'm better than everyone. That was my. That
Yeah,
was. It
I
was
mean,
so funny.
but the thing is, Maddie is not like only insanely good at aim training and stuff like that. He
Yeah.
is also so humble. He is so humble.
Yeah, he's a great
It is
guy. I love
so
that guy.
nice. He's
I love
so
that guy.
nice
Yeah,
to
he's a very nice
everyone.
guy. Very.
So
He did, however, ego me when I sent him a meme. He never responded one time. So
nah,
I do
that's
hold. I
I
am
mean,
gonna hold that
let him know.
him accountable for that.
Okay,
But other than that, great guy.
he is so nice. I don't know. Maddie is just the goat. I can't lie.
Yeah, I
In
like Maddie.
most, in most,
Very skillful. And I love
yeah.
how like he agrees with everyone when people say he's bad at Overwatch.
Yeah. I don't know
Like
why he says that really because I don't
like
know. I
I mean
wouldn't really say that. I can't lie. I would not say that. I don't know. He's
Dark
not bad at it. It's like
he, but he like makes a whole thing about how he got to GM1 with only aim. Stark LN is also a sleeper god. Stark hasn't played Kovacs in like 2 months. Yeah, Maddie doesn't
yeah.
okay, good. If Maddie ignores AOD, then he'll ignore me too. That's cool. Uh
I
that makes me
mean,
feel
I
better about
can't. I
myself.
think Maddie is like the same as me in that. Like sometimes I read the message, even if it's something important, and I'm like, yeah, I'll answer it later because I don't have
Yeah.
time at the moment, and then I completely forget about it.
Yeah, I think
Or
that was the
that
week
it's
that his PC broke, so it was reasonable.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
like,
And
but
the
I
other thing is,
yeah.
what is even worse is when I'm like sleeping and I
Uh-huh.
wake up, look at my Discord, I read the message, but I'm like half asleep. And I go to bed after again, like I fall asleep again,
Uh-huh.
and then I don't even see the notification anymore.
Yeah.
Like I read the message, but I'm like I completely forgot about it. That happens a lot of times. So if I ego anyone, I'm sorry, I don't want to. I sometimes I
Yeah.
just fall asleep again.
That
Stuff like
happens to
that.
me a lot too. Like, especially when Roxel was at its peak, I was getting like 20 DMs a day, right?
Oh,
That was pain. Like, there was a month where my YouTube channel got 500,000 views in that month. That was
oh
like,
God.
it was like, but it was like great, but the DMs were just insane.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean that makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back. It was like the thing is, remember that whole Roxel trend where like it went from like no one was on Roxel to literally every person who plays Valorant tried Roxel.
Never tried it. I'm happy about that. I mean, I'm an aim trainer main, so I kind of like know a bit more like about the theory and shit.
Yeah,
So I knew it wouldn't really help that much. I feel like it's helped. I feel like it
yeah,
helps for
yeah,
either really high sense players or really low sense players.
yeah. I feel
Those
like
are the two
it.
feeling. Like I don't know. That's what it when it helps. I mean, like yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like it was definitely helpful. I feel like what was I saying? Yeah, it was definitely like helpful in some aspects of aim, but like
Yeah.
I wanted videos that would blow up, so my titles took it too far, and then like I single handedly caused that whole raw Excel trend. A lot of people don't realize it caused it because then it got on like one pro tries and then
And
another, but
like
and
yeah,
then like TikTokers tried it and that got it big. But like the whole snowball effect, I'm gonna say started with me, seeming as like a lot of the curve, or well, I'm not gonna say because curve shape, but just because like my videos started blowing up and then it blew up, you know what I mean? And like they
yeah.
kind of like
That
seem
you
to
like
feed
started
into
it
each
and then
other.
it and went everywhere else as well to the internet. And
Like
then
yeah, it
yeah,
just seemed like I feel like I probably single-handedly like made that like get big or like at least started the snowball effect. Then a bunch of TikTokers made it big, and like that whole rock. So like I wanted those videos to do well, so I made titles that like exaggerated how good it was,
mhm,
and like that's like my biggest mistake in my opinion on my channel is making raw excel, other than a few of my very early videos that I just don't like. I think that thing was just like, yeah, I didn't like that. I was like, Radiance think Roxel is legal aimbot or something, and then all of a sudden people are like, no way.
what?
Yeah, or like
It's
free
that is
a free aim
so.
buff. Like it
I
was
mean,
like
I mean,
it was a bad. Or I'll read the actual
I
title. It was
feel
a
like
very bad title. It was a very. It was like, and I like actually said in a video publicly, like I should not have like hyped up Roxel this much. It does not deserve this kind of hype. But yeah, okay,
I
I
mean if
have
there,
how a
that's the
Valorant
thing
Pro
though.
uses Roxel, which was the big one that I think really exaggerated was the one I made out where I like hyped it up to Rob. Yeah, Radiance think Roxel is instant good aim. That was not a good title. And like I went in the video and I like actually feel like the video itself explained it well. It was just the title didn't. And
Yeah,
I kind of like thought that was okay, but like a lot of people just read the title and then
yeah,
just like watch the video in the background and just assume they already know the thing.
yeah.
Like the amount
I
of
feel like
question, yeah,
but that's like the issue with aiming. That is the
it's
big issue with the
that was
correlation of
that's what I
Valorant
did.
and
Yeah,
aiming.
I'm mad I
That is
contributed.
it's
People like
bad.
always want a shortcut.
Yeah, and in Valorant, I mean, in general, Valorant people for some reason know or like think they for some reason they think that their game is aim like dependent. Like what?
No,
I mean, they should like know that. They should know that Valorant is really not the aim heaviest game. And if you think that, in my opinion,
yeah,
you are probably plat or gold. If you think that, and because that would mean that you have to play exactly the way you think it has to be played. And if you play Valorant like an aim game, you
yeah.
play literally deathmatch.
And then there's
And that is
also
then
yeah,
yeah. And then it's that's the reason why you're plat, probably.
and then there's
Like
also
I don't know.
people who annoy me who are usually like better at Valorant or getting their opinions from people who actually know how to play. Who like I've seen it on a lot of those Radiant YouTubers who like look like average like
Oh
RA
yeah, I know what you
plat,
mean.
like those
I know what you
people
mean.
like who like those people like get up there and they're like, you see, and they like basically describe aim sense and then call it a game sense and then call it aim. Like they're like, you see, if you just predict where the guy's gonna be and put your crosshair in that spot, then you have really good
Yeah,
aim. I'm
like
like,
what?
no, you're
Yeah,
just thinking. Like it's not aim, it's just different.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know. It's like for some reason, like some Radiants, not the top tier A Radiants, I feel like the pro players, they are either they're aware enough that they are either not good enough in raw aim that they really don't talk about it, or they are good enough in raw aiming that they know what they're talking about. For
you
example,
haven't
Tams, I
gotten to
feel
the
like,
point where you've coached any pros yet. I haven't coached any top tier pros, but I have coached some
oh,
like pros. And let me tell you, they are some of the most insane, like not like I've had some like Zexro. He was on Dark Zero when
I
I coached
coached
him.
him actually. I
You
coached
coached
him
him, yeah, and
actually.
he doesn't shut up
Yeah, but
about his
like
sense. He doesn't shut up about his
it's
sense.
no, the way I coached him was so funny. I raided him on Twitch once because he was streaming aim lab, and
Yeah,
I try to always aim training players. I always like
yeah.
to raid.
I usually go for people
And
with way smaller viewers though, so that they're
yeah,
actually
yeah, same.
yeah.
I wanted him to like I
Oh yeah,
always like
notice
when
him. Yeah, yeah, I get what you mean.
I
Yeah,
always like when like more
yeah,
people notice it. Yeah.
yeah,
So I saw him. I looked at his gameplay, and I was like I was coaching him through chat a bit, like what I told him like some stuff, some general stuff,
yeah.
and at some point I was like at some point the moderator in the chat was like, you might as well just join him in call and just coach him there. And I was
Oh,
like, I
and
was
you
at
coached
first
him
I was like,
live on a Zexro
yeah,
stream.
yeah,
Oh, that is
and
exposure right there. That is helpful.
I was
Yeah, no,
I was
Zexro's a nice
scared though.
guy.
I
Yeah,
was
that's
so scared
that'll scare you.
because
I
I
remember when
also
he
know
first
him for like years. I've known him for years. I know him from Fortnite times.
I feel like it
So I
was
was like
helpful that
mega
I
scared.
found out who he was when he called me or when he texted me.
Oh, okay.
When he
Yeah.
texted me, yeah. So like that like probably helped me be less panicky. But I remember I told it to my friend who was big into Fortnite, and he had like a heart attack that I
Yeah,
like
I know.
talked to
I
that
was
guy.
also so scared.
Yeah,
Like I know him so long already. And then I talked to him like, okay.
he's just like, and then like I don't know what your experience was since we both have worked with him. I don't know what your experience was with him, but in my experience, you get on there, you're like, how you doing? Like you're like, all right, this is your issue. This is your issue. Like work on like I think I had him working on like I don't remember what I had him working on, but then I said to afterwards he was like, all right, cool, thank you, and I gave him some playlists and I was like, grind these, and he would play them, but then you'd get a DM a day later. So what sense should I use in game?
Yeah,
I'm like, I
I've seen
don't
his
I
Twitter.
don't. Oh, did he not mention sense to you when you called him up? That's good.
No, a bit, but I told him that I told him because he was playing XY track in the aim lab official benchmarks.
Yeah.
I told him that because he was at this point, to be honest, he has played for 9 hours. He played for 9 hours and he just wanted to get fucking grandmaster. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I can tell you with a lower sense in XY track, you will get the score a lot easier. I basically told him to sense cheese.
Uh huh.
And I was like, because I don't know, I felt so bad for him. He played for 9 hours, his hand was dying. And I was like, just get the score somehow. It doesn't matter how, just as long as you get the score. I can probably like try to lower your sense a bit because you shake a bit. He also wasn't like I mean for someone who doesn't do tracking normally, centering and staying in center of mass is like a bit difficult.
Mhm.
So I kind of like gave up on that at some point. I just told him go a bit lower sense so you're a bit less shaky,
Uh huh.
and then it worked at some point. At some point he got the score and I just wanted it to stop, to be honest, at some point. But yeah, the
Yeah.
sense thing, he changed the sense I think 4 or 5 times at some point.
I
So
don't.
it was a bit of a thing.
I don't have a problem with changing your sense like that. Just he
He
expects
thought about
results
it too
from
much.
changing it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he like
He thinks that it helps so much.
yeah, it
It
was
doesn't.
like it was he was like insane. And then I worked with another guy who was pro who actually nowadays I'd say he's very knowledgeable about aim. Like he's in
Mhm.
Aimers Plus and stuff, and he played.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, he like knows what he. But I remember at one point he asked me like, what DPI should I use? And I was like, well, I mean, if you use 3200, it'll help with pixel skipping, but like, and at that point, I was more into the 3200 to help pixel skipping than I am nowadays. Like nowadays, I don't even think about it because like
Yeah.
it really doesn't make much of a difference. But back then, I was like, I felt like way more hyped about it. So I was like, and he was like, so what does deep? He was like, but all the pros use 800, and I was like, you are the pros. It doesn't matter. Like, and he was like, I don't know. I felt like he was like, I was like, that's just because like they're caught up on CS, and he was like kind of like worried about that. And it was like, all right, but like I don't know. I just feel like there are pros out there who like don't always know what they're doing in terms of like different things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I mean, I get that actually. I
yeah,
mean,
and
they
I don't blame them.
for especially for Valorant, I feel like it's a bit different for Apex and stuff like that because for Apex you actually or Overwatch you need to have like actually raw good aim. That is just the case.
Yeah,
For Valorant, I feel like Valorant is you can get to Radiant without or like to the absolute top. You can get there with game sense and just good cross-up placement. There's no aim needed really.
yeah,
Aim will help make you like good plays. That's what I realized at some point. Dynamic, in my opinion, dynamic and target switching are the main things in Valorant for me.
I agree. For I think that's just like
Because
how Valorant works.
yeah, it is. And I feel like if you're good at dynamic, you are good at being very consistent. Like consistent getting the kills. Like you don't choke too much, you don't whiff too much, it's all good. And I feel like target switching, speed target switching is for plays, I feel like. You might not be as consistent, but you will have the possibility to have like really good plays where you just target switch three people.
Yeah,
So I think that is what like what some people don't really see. Um so yeah, dynamic I think is by far is still way more important than target switching now. Like
yeah.
dynamic a lot for Valorant.
I
There
also
are
like
some really good tasks, yeah.
yeah. Another kind of scenario, like I could probably put it similar importance to target switching, maybe a bit more important, would be like scenarios that are like reflex flick, except you get more points for hitting the target sooner, so you're always just trying to aim faster. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like those
Yeah,
a
I get
lot.
that.
Like, and then you can have ones that are like all clustered together for like micro adjustments when someone peaks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like I think like micro adjustments are like main Valorant. Like this is the
yeah,
main Valorant game.
yeah.
Um, but it's hard to. I feel like it's really hard to train them. I don't know. It's hard for me to train them. There
Mm-hmm.
are because like most of the micro adjustment scenarios you get, they are still too spread out. Because
I
micro
agree.
adjustment like really means micro. Like it's like 3, 4, 5 pixels sometimes,
Huh?
and it's hard to make scenarios based on that. It's really really difficult.
Have you ever seen raw mouse control clicking three in
Yeah,
Kovacs?
I have that.
I
I've
think
played
that's a
that. It's really good, yeah, don't get me wrong. But again, it's like I feel like still too widespread for Valorant. Or like CS, because it's sometimes literally pixels
yeah.
that
That's
will not
fair.
get you the kill.
That's true. That's true.
But then again, it's really hard to make scenarios that like train that, really.
Yeah,
That's really difficult.
that's fair. Those
And like
small.
scenarios like reactivity, and it's hard to describe, reactivity clicking scenarios
Yeah,
where they like wiggle around and then you have to somehow like
yeah.
you should not even try to be like because there's like you can't cheese it basically where you
Crosshair plays it in the middle.
cross applies it, yeah, and then you click time it, which
Mm-hmm.
I think is not the play. You should try to actually flick on it, micro flick on it, and then it will actually help
Yeah.
improve you in Valorant because that's like basically Valorant. If you get higher elo, the people will develop a lot more in movement,
Huh?
and then movement is like if you have good aim, you will have like this is like the only time where aiming actually comes up in a gunfight just occasionally.
Yeah.
Is where you have to basically micro adjust constantly to the movement. That is the only thing where it really like
Yeah.
happens. And then you have like you need to react. You have to have the reactivity for that.
Yeah. I agree.
But it's difficult to train that though. There's not that many scenarios for that because it's hard to make. It's really and it would be really frustrating to play. It
Yeah.
would be really 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 frustrating to play.
Yeah. Those kinds of
Um,
scenarios, and the scores wouldn't
yeah,
be consistent at all.
yeah, yeah. So it's just luck. It's a lot of luck based then.
I feel like especially on tracking, you might, I don't know if you agree or disagree, but I feel like benchmarks are always made too easy for the group they're targeted for. Like,
Yeah,
but
100%.
I feel like that's not a flaw. It's that they need, if you have a benchmark where you're going to average like 20% accuracy, then it makes it a lot easier to get
Yeah.
lucky, get on off score. So it's not like it's an error. It's
At the
just,
same time, though, I feel like when the score is when it's like jump track where you need like I think for the one you need 40%. I feel like scenarios or like the perfect example is actually XY track. That's
yeah,
perfect.
that's it.
XY track is the perfect scenario. I can actually play that and I can show you why that's like
Uh-huh.
really like weird to play.
Uh-huh.
Because the issue with that scenario is that you have to be extremely high, you have to have extremely high accuracy to get the score. You have to get, I
Yeah.
think, 88%, 88 to 90% accuracy. And scenarios like this to grind is so boring because every
Yeah.
little slip up, if you like this and you already got the score, you will not get the score. If you have like this and then you perfectly check it afterwards, you will not get the score anymore.
Yeah.
And this is like it's way too focused on hyper fixating on the target and not really on the aiming part. Because let's be honest here, for someone that has somewhat decent level of aim, that is not aim training. It
Yeah.
is not. Like not at all.
Yeah, I
Their
agree.
activity sometimes helps a bit with aiming, but like the target is too big. It's like a grid shot target basically.
Yeah.
So high accuracy targets, I don't know. It makes sense for people. It makes sense for AimLab to implement this in like the normal benchmarks because of course you have like the average person that is not like an aim god, obviously.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for them to make it not too difficult. But for like aim trainer mains or like enthusiasts, it's like that doesn't help whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. Like these benchmarks overall, like I feel like all these benchmarks, like did you play the Passu one where it was like a grid shot pass? Like it was literally just the
Oh
bot was
wait,
so
I've
big and
not
so
heard that.
on these
Oh wait,
benchmarks.
on these bedrocks. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
played that as
Their
well.
Passu like type scenario, it was so big and so slow that it was really just static and you just
Yeah,
flick
yeah.
as fast as you can. It was just like I
I
didn't
mean,
like
I mean,
it was like it
that's like
felt
the
like it was like
marketing though.
designed
It's like,
for people
yeah,
who are like brand new to M&K, but like the scores were scaled so it would be hard for everyone.
I feel like that is the thing with. I feel like I mean that's somewhat of a marketing thing. I feel like
Yeah.
because most of the benchmarks here are speed based a
Yeah,
lot.
for sure.
It's like it's just higher speed and you will get the score at some point. Which
Yeah.
I think, I mean, you can see here. That's like a perfect example. Dark, I love him. He's one of my best friends and everything, but he is not a good dynamic player. That is not true. But he got here. This is the dynamic grid shot scenario.
Yeah.
He got here because it's basically speed clicking, and he is really fast. So he will
Yeah.
get the score because of that.
He's got the world
So
record
I
in
don't
it
know.
right now.
Now that's Matty, obviously,
Okay.
with 2,000 for some unknown reason.
Does he have world record in wavy switch? It looks like when you hovered over it, his name.
Oh,
Oh no 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 no, never mind, never mind. That's just you're hovering over his. Yeah, I get it
oh
now.
yeah, yeah,
You were hovering over the leaderboard on the right. I can't
yeah.
see your cursor.
Oh,
So
oh, oh.
yeah, that make these they. I didn't love these benchmarks to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean they're a lot better than the like ranking system before.
Oh,
Don't
for
get me wrong
sure.
whatsoever. But they're still not on a level where I would say, yeah, that's pretty good.
The
But
it
again, it's hard to make benchmarks
yeah.
really well. If it's for AimLab, it's easier for Kovacs in my opinion,
Hmm.
just for the fact that it costs something, so people will put way more effort into that.
Yeah.
AimLab is free, and the audience or like the player base is way bigger. It's like way
Yeah.
more centered around like average people, maybe even like completely new to mouse and keyboard, and you
Yeah.
can't give them tasks like wait, let me think. You can't give them something from RA benchmarks or something
Yeah.
where they will play it for 2 minutes, get like 200 score, and will never touch the game again.
Yeah.
So
I
it
know
makes sense.
exactly what you mean. Like I was on AimLab in my first 3 months of mouse and keyboard,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I feel like if the what's it called? If the benchmarks weren't like so easy, I probably would have just not played anymore.
Wait, wait. Beast asked what do you mean he's not a good dynamic player? Dark is, I mean, as far as I know, Dark is not the best dynamic player. No, you can't really use the RA benchmark stat as a reference for the exploit click and 3D click. Those scenarios are not particularly hard to get divine on. I think 3D click at the moment has like 15 people with divine on it. Dark is like, I think it's like hard to define a good dynamic player. If you look at the top scores in 3D click, I think Maddie has 1.2k, Gary has 1.1k, and I have like 1050 or some shit. So 963 is good, don't get me wrong, but I would not consider him whatsoever a top dynamic player. And I think he would neither, and I think a lot of people wouldn't as well.
I had to
He's not
define.
bad at dynamic, but like he's like not good. Good is
If I
like
had to
really
try to
yeah.
define a top dynamic, I would say like it would be someone who's good enough at target reading that they can like know roughly where the bot's going to go relative to
Mhm.
where their crosshair's moving, and like be able to make motions that were both smooth and fast to get onto the target from like wherever they were, like
Mhm.
relative to where the target's moving, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it's like a combination of being able to read the bot and like flick to it, if you know what I mean. I feel like those are like the
Yeah.
skills that go into top dynamic.
Um, I mean, also for good. I mean, like he is good. I think you have to understand what I mean with good. Like if I say someone is a good dynamic player, if you use that because it's like a good example
Yeah.
actually. Good dynamic player, I would not say that he is that. If we look at him outside of benchmarks, and not only outside of benchmarks, but also if we look at the scores outside of dynamic, I would not consider him good. I would also not consider myself good in static, even though I have one dynamic divine score. I would not do that just because my precise tracking is so much higher, and I'm not good at anything any static scenario outside of the benchmarks. I would not consider myself good at static. I'm above average 100%, but I would not say I'm good at static.
Would you say you're
Definitely not.
mid?
Yeah, I would go so far and say I'm mid.
Cartoon.
But yeah, I think I mean that again, that goes hand in hand with like having high expectations. At
Yeah,
least for me. I have
that's fair.
really, really high expectations. So for me to consider myself good, I mean I would not even consider myself like a top precise tracking player. I would not consider myself that. Just because there's the skill ceiling is so high.
Yeah.
The skill ceiling is so high that I'm not good in my opinion. I'm
Yeah.
good, but like I'm not a top player yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's go. He admitted it.
He
What do
admitted
you
it.
mean, Cartoon? What do you mean? I'm not good at static. That is not unknown information.
He's mid.
That is obvious. Also, since you
Mid.
mentioned it, smoothness and dynamic, I feel like, in my opinion, for people who started with who start with aim training, precise tracking or smoothness is one of the best things you can start with.
I see that.
Like, really, really good. Because smoothness is something that you will use in everything. Doesn't matter what, even in SPTS, you will use that. I can show you one example on why, like, even SPTS. Dan, you might have heard of him.
Dan with two
Um,
A's.
yeah,
Pure G
in
guy.
Switch. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dan's in Switch track. He has, of course, since I had a debate with Dark about that once. That is obviously not a top score, but if you look at the way he plays it and the score and like his smoothness, you can see
hmm
he is when you look at this, he's extremely smooth by playing that.
Not actually allowed to
And
watch YouTube videos on stream, I don't
oh,
believe. I think it'll
I
like
don't think
actually.
you're not.
I
Oh,
no,
actually
because
you
I'm
are.
on
Oh,
YouTube
okay.
streaming. I'm on YouTube streaming.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
basically, his
I'll
his
send it in chat
flicks,
if anyone
he
wants.
got. Okay, I'm just gonna say the score. I mean, you can see the score.
Yeah.
200k. He got 200k, which is way above average. I think that's
Oh,
like
for
top
sure.
30 or some shit.
For sure.
So it's like really, really good.
Yeah.
And the way he flicks is like, I mean, I can just play it actually. I mean, I can probably like somewhat show what I mean.
Yeah.
Somewhat. I'm not good at. Oh
I think
god,
it's yeah. I think
Rafael is gonna laugh at me so
Rafal.
bad. That's gonna be really, really bad.
Let's see if he.
Right.
Yep, he's in chat. He's ready to bully you.
Yeah, I know. I know. I obviously need to open the stream at the same time so I can see chat. I want to see how he bullies me. So the way he plays it is literally like that, but like obviously faster. He plays it
Yeah.
like really, really smooth. You can see that like I'm not like Rafa. I can do that. I can't do
Yeah.
that. Like he can play really, really smooth, and you can still get like really high with that. So in
Yeah.
my opinion, smoothness is one of not if not even like the best ability what you can have like as like average, like as like something as a foundation basically.
Yeah.
Smoothness can have a lot there. It's like in everything, and even in reactivity. Like people don't. This is like actually the main problem with a lot of players in reactive. They have the issue that they think reactivity means that they have to be like reaction time, so they have
Flicking.
to flick. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they like. This is like the biggest mistake I feel like. So they just flick back and forth the entire time and then don't hit anything for the fact that you need to like be smooth while the target moves in between,
Uh-huh.
and then you can somewhat figure it out. This is like what you should do in reactive tracking from like what
Yeah.
I've heard from Zebra, for example.
Yeah.
And this is like so smoothness even helps there.
Yeah.
In static, I think as well. I don't know about static that much to be honest,
Yeah.
but as far as I know, yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah,
Nice. You feel like there's any important things we haven't covered yet in the stream? We've gotten, because I'm getting pretty hungry. Kind of want to go get dinner soon.
yeah. I think the last point is the low
Uh-huh.
sense abuse and the
Oh yeah.
the
Do you
re-
want to
the
talk about?
recovery, the
Did we talk
recovery.
about that? Yeah, the recovery from low sense. You want to talk a bit about learning to not be?
Uh
Oh, Aqua's in chat. Hi, Aqua. We were talking about your
oh
grip
wow,
earlier. We've got a
yeah, we
lot of
talked about
cool
your grip.
people in chat.
What sense does Salzi use? I use at the moment I use 54 as my main sense for Valorant, for example. But it depends on what I play. For example, for tracking, I still use a bit. I actually use higher sometimes. Kind of funny. I use like 54 or 49 or 48 for jump track,
Uh-huh.
and like reactivity even like higher, like sometimes even like 40 or something, like actually normal sensitivities.
Yeah.
I feel like my recovery. I said that already in the beginning. It was mainly because people kept calling me like low sense abuse, and I got really
Hmm.
annoyed because of that. So I kind of changed it because of that. And then uh, it's it's somewhat better, like objectively, because you like faster, even though it's like 1 millisecond or something. It's technically better, and it just looks better. Like be the precise tracking main, I know that my Twitter clips and like in general, like my tracking things will
Yeah.
never get as much attention as perfect example Aqua with Gridshot. It will never, not even
Yeah.
close. It's never gonna happen. So I was like, if I go a bit higher sense, my Valorant plays, for example, will look a lot flashier and not
Yeah, that
like
makes sense.
pure smoothness. So that was actually like the reason why I recovered from the illness called smoothness, precise sense
Low
cheesing.
sense. Yeah.
So
Cheesing.
yeah,
You see, Aqua, did you guys talk about how my grip is the most best and most optimal?
yeah,
I mean,
surely
we
like
honestly kind of did. If you think about what we were saying, we were like, we weren't saying don't do it. So I guess.
wait 50 plus centimeters. No, that's not. There's no sense of using. It just got into my head. Don't ever think that you can play literally whatever sense and you're not abusing. If you play the sense and you like the sense and you perform in that sense, play that sensitivity. Don't care what people would say about that. The only thing that is weird, and I will not. No one can stop me from saying that, is if you FOV cheese. That is weird. Don't play lower FOV than 103 Overwatch or Valorant. FOV cheesing is cringe. Don't do that.
Yeah, I feel like, what
That's the
was it?
only way you can really cheese it. I feel like.
There's like this one scenario in Kovacs, it's like one wall, two targets, far smaller, denser, where like the top
Yeah,
five score or the top 10 scores are all people who set like 700 centimeters to FOV and
yeah,
just grid shotted it. We got it.
yeah. So that's like weird. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's pretty weird. Have you been working with many Overwatch players? I've worked with a few. I've worked with a few. Not a ton of Overwatch players. Want to work with more. Yeah, I feel like people need to be able to at least learn to use higher senses or they're just like
mean, it helps you.
limiting
It
themselves,
helps you as well.
especially when
Like
they
it
get to
helps the
like
precision.
80 centimeters and like Europe levels, mini levels. That's like,
Hmm. Also, because like that
even
is
if it's,
the thing with changing sensitivities. Like higher sensitivity will make you more precise.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
just the fact.
Yeah,
It will make
training on
you
higher sets. Like
well
right
way
now, my
easier.
grind set is grinding the RA benchmarks on 24
Ooh,
centimeters.
ooh, need to
That's,
see that.
yeah, I was
Okay.
trying to 1v1 Rob in it because me and Rob are around the same skill level right now. So I was
Mhm.
trying to get him to 1v1 me in it, but he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna take Europe static coaching and spend this month doing that instead. I was like, all right,
That makes
fine.
sense.
Reasonable, but annoying.
Oh, alright. I
All
think
right.
we covered most things now.
Yeah, I'm good to call. Let's see. Have you worked with any Apex players? I've worked with a couple, yeah. All right, but yeah, I'm ready to call this call and like end it. But thank you
Mhm.
for coming on, Salzi. Um,
No problem, no problem.
I really appreciate you showing up to the interview. Um, yeah, we've covered a lot of educational things, a lot of not educational things, and it's been a good time. I'll see you
Yeah,
soon.
sure.
All right, bye.
I hope so. And bye. See ya.
See ya. Let's see. Just answer a couple chats. We got a lot of cool people in here. Very happy with the turnout. Um, love you too, Salzi. Salzi, great guy. How do you find Overwatch players versus Valorant Apex players? Like, what do they struggle in, lack in, excel in? I talked for 50% of. Oh wow. All right, Krisp, you don't have to call me annoying. Um, let's see. Yeah, Saul's a great guy. Thanks for everyone for showing up. Like a lot of cool people in here. Okay, Val players versus Overwatch players, Apex players. I feel like Overwatch players, depending on the hero, I found a lot of cool issues in Overwatch. Like I helped the guy work on learning to click without confirming he's on target, which is like an important strategy for games like Overwatch, and that helped him. You're friends with Dazneth. What do you think about his playstyle? I personally love. I personally think it cracks me up the whole like judge thing actually working, and getting Radiant on an Xbox controller. Now I'm helping him learn to use M&K, but I just think it's really funny. Let's see. Yes, I very much. Uh, yeah, it's important to use completely different muscle groups. All right, I'm starving, so I'm gonna end this stream, but I'll be back in like an hour and 40 minutes or so with a coaching session. So I'll see you guys soon. I just gotta go get a food first. Goodbye. More interviews, more coaching coming soon.